Okay. They got mad at the Adam comment. They don't want to submit to Adam is what it is. But thank you though. I appreciate it. Stop doing that. Not now. If you don't stop causing problems in my life for no reason at all, when I have more than enough evidence to prove you wrong, I will kill you. End of discussion. No, motherfucker. End of goddamn discussion. You can sit there and shake mad all you want. So am I, motherfucker. I cannot wait. It's not my name's on the property. You're trying to create a scene with this vibration that you're doing. I have a right to defend myself. So, with that being said, if you continue moving forward with whatever it is you're doing, I will slaughter your ass, motherfucker. You made bad decisions, and bad decisions, and bad decisions, and I'm not getting you out of it. But here's my thing that I have going on that was stolen before it ever even fucking happened. So, with that being said, motherfucker, off of my property, now. Before I move forward with the religious text in George, I just want to point that out. Like, I have more than enough, as you're going to find out. Not putting up with it. Government, whoever you put in charge behind the screen, you are stupid. This is the problem I'm having with you and choices. Whenever you start making certain positions unattractive because of the choices that you make. So, with that being said, if you don't comply with me, I will end you. There it is. You found something out, didn't you? You've definitely arrested someone. And it is definitely attached. It is an attachment. Okay. Well, anyway. I'll shut up. I see that has changed. I can also tell in my eyeball there. Moving forward, though. With the text at hand.
Here we are. It's been a day or two. Brahmin. It's been a day or two. I haven't even read this shit. Started off. Here we go.
It will switch. I'll try to switch. They keep talking about duty, and he wants me to make a gun.
Oh, hold on.
So I'll have to do that.
I don't know why I have that on. I'm a fool.
Like General Lee, he talks about it.
Where was that? Chapter 12 of Isaiah. Just waking up here. We're fresh here. Oh, there he is.
Like, no,
keep peeking over there, that bird.
Completely impossible.
I'm on to you.
No.
You're suspicious. You're more than suspicious, I'll be honest. Chapter 12. And in that day thou shalt say, O Lord, I will praise thee, that though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song. He also has become my salvation. Therefore with joy shall ye draw water out of the well of salvation. And in that day shall ye say, Praise the Lord, call upon his name, declare he doings among the people, make mention that his name is exalted. Sing unto the Lord, for he hath done excellent things. This is known in all the earth. Cry out and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion, for great is the Holy One of Israel in the midst of thee. I can tell they're doing stem cell today. I can tell by the sound of my voice. It's like a child, the way it's segmented. So you can remove that immediately. That's not cool, especially when you're not telling anybody about it. Through the eyeballs. And that red light, you can stop doing that. The fact that you thought about it, you know what I mean? Oh, there's my birdie flying over to the tower. That's hilarious. He just dove it. He just dove at it. I just watched him do it. He did a little dive at it. At the exact spot. Did you see that?
I don't know what my problem is. Usually I have trouble with that. It's like a layup.
Nah. Not cool. Not cool at all. Jacqueline Ambler. That makes more sense too with the
I tried taking it away. It's like I need this.
Melting of the tree sap. Thank you for pointing that out. That's really not cool. And I mean really. You've been doing that for quite some time. Good like 30, 40, 50 years. Chapter 13. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Thank you for seeing the bird with me. I appreciate you for acknowledging me. I've commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. It's not even. It's just, I cannot explain it, but I can tell. Here I am, I know myself. Themselves. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, and tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them, and they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause their light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. No. No. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens and the earth, shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of the fierce anger. And it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, that shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. That's funny. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity in the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, it shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherd make a fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, in their pleasant places, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Excuse me for a second. Bob Moses here. Thank you. As we go into the desert and the flood, excuse me. I'll keep it quiet. I'll keep it hush hush here. It's all hush hush, don't worry. The owl would be the bird Noah saw, I believe. If I'm correct here with the owl. I'll continue. This is like never ending story. Let me get my heater. Hold on.
Enemy there.
You gotta have a scarf, dude. You can't be doing Moses without a scarf. Chapter 14 of Isaiah. The scarf. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, and bring them through the place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in the wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest, and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon sing. Woo! Since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from the thrones all the kings of the nations. Julius Caesar.
Enemy team score.
All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy voiles, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Follow the coins here. I would assume whatever's closest to you would be more prominent. See, these are new age, I would assume. I don't know if they're clean or old. I don't know what that is. Refurbished, you know what I mean? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? That made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land, and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the bosom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, Surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. Go to Shakespeare. That I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains treaded him under foot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is a hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For the Lord of hosts hath purpose, and who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? In the year that King Ahaz died was this burden. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestina, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and its fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety. And I will kill thy root with famine, and he shall slay thy remnant. Howl, O great cry, O city, thou whole Palestina. Art dissolved, for there shall come from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone in the appointed times. What shall warn and answer the messengers of the nation? That the Lord hath founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it. William Shakespeare did, and I've said this, he did Julius Caesar, and I said those were Caesar's actual transcripts, as he is mentioned here. This is amazing. That's a really good painting, too. You and your plague.
Okay,
I don't know what
guy.
you're crazy.
80-year-old man here.
You're trying to smite everybody. I talk about it. The alien will do it. I won't. You're crazy.
Grant's
You're
good, bro.
talking puny. Puny over here.
Ah.
A brawl versus a ninja. He's mentioned it too over in the Himalayas. He's moving over eastward, up northward, northeast. So if you think about the languages, he is in England, the crown. You know what I mean? He would have to know these things as a king. We'll do one more and we'll move on to George. Chapter 15. Julius Caesar. The burden of Moab. The mother of all bombs. The burden of mother all bombs. How would you know about this? The burden of Moab. Because in the night Ara Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. Because in the night Kir Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. He is gone up to Bajith and to Dibon, the high places, to weep. Moab shall howl over Nebo and over Medeba. On all their heads shall be baldness, and every beard cut off. In their streets they shall gird themselves with sackcloths on the tops of their houses, and in their streets everyone shall howl, weeping abundantly. And Heshbon shall cry, and Elilah their voice, and Elisha their voice shall be heard even unto Jahaz. Therefore the armed soldiers of Moab shall cry out, his life shall be grievous unto him. My heart shall cry out for Moab, his fugitives shall flee unto Zor. A heifer of 3 years old, for by a mounting up of a Luhith, with weeping shall they go it up. For in the way of Horonim they shall rise up a cry of destruction. For the waters of Nimrim shall be desolate, for the hay is withered away, the grass faileth, there is no green thing. Therefore the abundance they have gotten, and that which they have laid up, shall they carry away to the brook of the willows. For the cry is gone round about the borders of Moab, the howling thereof in Unglam, and the howling thereof into Beerlem. For the waters of Dimon shall be full of blood, for I will bring more upon Dimon, lions upon him that escapeth of Moab, and upon the remnant of the land. Talking about the bell, and you can hear it in my voice whenever you speak. You should probably remove that. The nuclear power plant. He's very aware. This is what he's pointing out. Aside from the mask here that he has on the words, what he's really talking about is the nuclear power plant and the words, and that would be, like I said, were the famine, the root of it.
Victory.
So like your voice would be like a defense mechanism. You know what I mean? If you're thinking of it like that. They said he sat in silence. That's probably why he was building it all up. If you think like, I've noticed, like cell phones. I know someone who's had the same cell phone for 20, almost 30 years, you know what I mean? 25 years. Whenever you come around, you can feel the pressure on that cell phone. It's like that. So whatever that server.
BS.
on the cell phone company, wherever the main root of that would be. Like, it's storing every little bit of information, NORAD. Like a plague here, you know what I mean? So, like, when people pass away and stuff, it's going to be, the root of it's going to be reaching out back to that cell. I mean, again, you're going to have to do the science there, but that's the gist of it. Again, they said William was silent here. He basically, all he did was he wrote it. That's all he did. He was like a sponge taking it all in. Alright, I'll stop there. Talking about the heat. Cleopatra, Mount Vernon, May 23rd, 1785. To Tinch, Tilghman. Dear sir, the last post brought me your letter of the 14th, enclosing one of the 30th of April from Mr. Holiday. As soon as it was in my power to refresh my memory by having recurrence to my papers, I will write you. Or Mr.
Appreciate you,
Holiday,
but now's not the time.
more fully on the subject of the legacy of Colonel Colville's will to Miss Anderson, or person under whom she claims. For strange as it may seem, it is nevertheless true that I have not been able since my retirement to arrange my papers or to attend in the smallest degree to my private concerns. The former from the hurry with which they had been removed from bookcases into trunks, and sent off to escape the ravages of the enemy when their vessels have appeared, are in great disorder. Dragon Ball Z. The cell phone, Dragon Ball. I loaded the last winter, I would be Trunks. I loaded the last winter for the adjustment of all this matters, but never could command as much time as even to enter upon the business. And every matter, that's funny. That's really funny, that's ironic. And every matter, and that's really ironic. And every matter and thing which respects the latter are in the situation I left them 10 years ago. The numberless applications from officers of the several lines of the Army for certificates of service, recommendations, copies of orders, references of old matters, with which I ought not to be troubled, in addition to other correspondencies in which my situation has involved me, confines me more to my writing desk than I ever was at any period of my life, and deprives me of necessary exercise. These, with other causes, have produced the effect I have mentioned, which I feel more sensibly as the business of others with which I have been concerned is involved, and is now undergoing the same suspension as my own. For some time past I have been unsuccessfully endeavoring to get a single man of good character and decent appearance, for he will be at my table and with my company.
Thank you for holding my
burden. And if you could recommend one of this description who would not burthen and would not expect high wages, for these I cannot afford, I should be obliged to you in so doing. To suit me, he must be a person of liberal education, a master of composition, and have a competent knowledge of accounts, for I have those of 10 years standing and the intermediate transactions to overhaul and adjust. Barack. Sir Obama. Yo. He comes in with the earring. Will you ever come to see me? You may be assured that these are few persons in the world whose visits would give more sincere pleasure at Mount Vernon than yours. Nothing could increase the satisfaction of it more than bringing Mrs. Tillman with you, to whom, and to yourself, Mrs. Washington joins in every good wish with, dear sir, etc. P.S. Upon second thoughts, it occurs that the Reverend Mr. West of Baltimore can't do all that is necessary for Mrs. Anderson. For Miss Anderson, without any agency of mine, at least may determine with precision what ought to be done. He is the executor of his brother, Mr. John West, who was the principal acting executor of Colonel Thos Colville, and has been, I am informed, insidiously employed lately in adjusting the concerns of that estate. I think he's pointing out that you're going to have to back what you're... Hey, so we're going to have to remove this immediately, as I shall not write to Mr. Holiday until I can do it more to the purpose that at present I will rely upon your communicating what is here mentioned to him. I am in want of 2-inch pine plank. The man who is engaged to work for me and who came lately from Baltimore says he saw a good deal at that place of the eastern white pine, which appeared to him so be seasoned and fit for my uses, if any vessel should be coming around in Alexandria, and you could send me from 200 to 500 feet of it, and you would oblige me, of course. HSP. To John Swan, Mount Vernon, May 23rd, 1995. Sir, the little share I had in the administration of Colonel Caldwell's estate and the time which have elapsed since I had my concern at all with the affairs of it render me very incompetent to give the information you require. Mr. John West, deceased, was the principal acting executor of the will of Colonel Caldwell and the Reverend Mr. West of Washington, the executor of John, and has, I am told, taken much pains to adjust the papers of his brother and the business of the estate. He's telling John down at the sheriff's station to remove the fingerprints now. John down at the Simmons, down at the sheriff, you need to remove the fingerprints now. That's how they're doing it with the heartbeat, I would assume. Birthing. Okay, so plasma seance. I think this is a direct order from the federal government, not the state. Either you can remove the fingerprints, or we can come down there and whoop your ass. I assure you, it will be removed. It's not a request. It is an order. On July 6, Washington wrote briefly to Timon acknowledging receipt of the lumber from the letter book copying the Washington papers.
Everything's a brawl.
The machine that you're using is the main concern here. Therefore, under the wild devices of the will, then it is in my power at this time to give you. There they go. As you sit there and spy. So, remove the hack here so people can reach out. So people can reach out. Yo! So people can reach out.
Excuse me, sir. What a hater.
All I recollect of the matter is that the devices of certain persons in England, relations of the testator, were to indefinite and stirred up such a multitude of claims that it was unjudged necessary for the safety of the executor. We're executing a search warrant on the judge. When the surplus estate, if any, should be ascertained, to deposit the same in the hands of the Chancellor, to be disposed of to the rightful owner, me, Clayton Dale Smith, upon due proof of their identity before him. Thank you, sir. What may have been the surplus of the accounts have been finally settled. What has been done with it, or under what predicament it may have been placed by the laws of this government, I have it not in my power, without a good deal of research, to inform you, not having been able to look into this business any more than into that which more immediately concerns my own since my return to private life. For 8 years previous to it, it is well known I could not, I am, etc. I appreciate you. It's unfortunate that we had to call you out of your retirement to deal with such matters. Mr. Donald, Mr. Trump, President Trump.
Enemy flag returned.
They have a device, the fingerprint, the gene sequence down there. They need to be removed, the fingerprints, diseases and other things. It's pretty counterproductive.
Basically, they've taken the lines of the DNA, the fingerprint.
They would not be the appropriate owner.
They can lay them out into
As
like a
it's pointed
shape,
out.
and it creates a pulse.
They're trying to fight us on it with the eyeballs there.
Excuse me, I didn't.
They've made it. They're trying to make it where if you argue against them, it'll make you look crazy and it'll start rotating your eyeball. I'm basically having to fight through the water right now, talking about it. By no means am I a part of that group or associated with any of these individuals, other than what was forced upon me. Kidnapper. So I believe he's pointing out that they are executing a search warrant on the presiding judges involved here, which I don't even know who are involved. President Trump. I think he mentioned Joe and President Obama. So I don't want us to tell you this is the real paperwork as the identity before you, with the proper account, the right owner, the Burwell, the Boswell, Bassett, as we move forward. Accept it. He's not involved. It's on camera. Accept it.
Target spotted.
He's pointing out. Now this is what you're arguing. So we're executing the search warrant here. This is what you're arguing. Now you're gonna have to argue against George Washington. So we're gonna have to remove the sim. I want Donald. You need to go down there and remove that entire system.
Honestly, now that I mention it, it'd probably be the streets as well. I hadn't even thought about it.
My dude, she has to be sitting in a. My dude, it has to be like X-Men where Magneto rips Nixon out of the black box. She has to be in a black box like that. Like. The megaphone, you know what I mean?
Quite a bit, actually.
Victory.
It's like,
There we go. Oh, good job. They don't need to hear that.
To murder, though, is what he's talking about. Okay, so that right there, it has to do with the Ark
I was talking about the alien, that's why.
and the river. The reflection of the Ark in the river. I can feel you messing with it right now. You have to think that
Rambling off here.
necessary in the month of the year following for 587 acres and return it to my accordingly. And equally certain I am that it was made before Mr. Chrysop or any person, Mr. Smith, or any person in his behalf had ever stretched a chain thereon, knew of, or, as I've already observed, had taken a single step to obtain the land. Fourthly, because subsequent of this survey, but previous to any claim of Chrysop, a certain Dr. Briscoe possessed himself of the land and relinquished it after I had written him a letter in the words contained in the enclosure, number 1. Fifthly, because upon the first information I received of Smith's pretensions, I wrote him a letter of which number 2 is a copy. I'm basically going to have to walk up to him and kill him. Sixthly, because it was the practice of Chrysop, according to the information given me, to notch a few trees and sell as many bottoms on the river above the little Kanahawa as he could obtain purchasers, to disquiet and injury of numbers. Seventhly, because the commissioner who gave the certificate under which his heirs now claim could have no knowledge of my title thereto, being no person in that district properly authorized during my absence to support my claim. Eighthly, because the survey which was made by Colonel Crawford, who was legally appointed by the masters of William and Mary College for the purpose of surveying the aforesaid 200,000 acres, he is expressly recognized and deemed valid by the first section of the Act, entitled An Act, see the Act, as the same was afterwards returned by the survey of the county in which the land lay. Ninthly and lastly, because I have a patent for the land, for the said land. See Washington's letter by Dr. John Briscoe, December 3rd, 1772. See Washington, he's talking about the entire declaration. Under the seal of the said Commonwealth, signed by the governor in due form on the 30th day of October, 1784, as consequence of a legal survey made the 14th of July, 1773, as just mentioned, and now of record on the land office. For these reasons, I protest against a patent issuing for the land for which the commissioners have given a certificate to the heirs of Mr. Chrysop, so far as the same shall Mr. Smith, so far as the same shall interfere with mine. The legal and equitable right thereto being in me. You need to reword this. If I am defective in form in entering this Cervantes, I hope to be excused and to have my mistakes rectified. I am unaccustomed to litigations and never disputed with any man until the ungenerous advantages which have been taken of the peculiarity of my situation and an absence of 8 years from my country has driven me into courts of laws to obtain common justice. I have the honor, etc. I really appreciate you. They reworded it. They renamed it. Here, let me correct this. Is this the right one? I don't even know. Cervantes, though. That's where, hold on. That's the first off. Okay, that's why we're wrong.
It's my favorite character.
Soul Caliber here. Sell the soul of every person on earth. Thank you. I appreciate you. Go ahead and do that for me. This is what they have done. And she keeps doing it. And she keeps digging her hole deeper like she didn't do anything wrong. It's a girl. Barbados over here. Who the fuck did this? Now I see. Not cool. Oh, yeah, in the blood. There she is. Definitely. Excuse me. Okay. This is like Yoda.
Flag returned.
She didn't believe. Oh, she's about to commit suicide. Basically what it's doing. I know who it is. I'm not gonna name her. She's taking a gun to her head. That's what she's doing right now. It's whether they want it or not. I don't know what to tell you. What's the problem we're having? I don't even know who that is. by name, the governor, as I just call him out. And you're arguing? I mean, I didn't know, so you know what I mean? Here I am. I don't even know what land we're talking about. I'm sure I can come up with something, you know what I mean? All I wanted was a loan for a business. I mean, there's debt owed here, and you can even look in Mark's eyes. Dude, he's mad about it. I'm not. It doesn't change a thing. I mean, it does. It's like, I'm mad. I was. Yeah, definitely. You asked. You shouldn't have even said anything. Father, you should have never even mentioned it. I've never even known. As was mentioned by the Brahmin. Excuse me. Number 14. Then it carried the eye. When the eye got rid of death, it became the sun. The sun, having transcended death, shines beyond its reach. And this is section 3:14. Number 15. Then it carried the ear. When the ear got rid of death, it became the quarters. Those quarters, having transcended death, remained beyond its reach. Similarly, the ear became the quarters. The quarters remained divided into the rest, and so forth. Number 16. Then it carried the mind. When the mind got rid of death, it became the moon. That moon, having transcended death, shines beyond its reach. So does the deity carry one who knows thus beyond death. I'm over it. The mind became the moon and shines, as the vital force carried the ancient sacrifice beyond death by transforming the organ of speech, etc., into the fire, and so on. So does this deity carry one, the sacrificer of today, who knows thus the vital force, as including the 5 organs, that of speech, etc. For the Sruti says, one becomes exactly as one meditates upon him. Tron over here. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me? Okay, hold on. Him. He said him. They refuse. She refuses. I guess I'm too good looking. I'm too handsome. She refuses. I'll dethrone her is what it is. I'm the one with the mane here. I don't know what you're talking about. Show you mercy today, woman. She refuses.
Slayer.
Bro, come on, bro. Come on. What are you doing, bro? Sitting on my ass is what I'm doing. Thanks. I appreciate you. You're welcome.
I did a whole segment I skipped over. You haven't heard it. Of me broing. But the entire like.
No,
vote-
dude. No, on camera, no. So that needs to stop. That's what we're talking about. They're confused. That's where the Weighing of the Heart ceremony comes into play, and they're like trying to hide the ark, and then coming out of nowhere after the fact and reveal, oh, this is what we had. No, sir, I'm not that dumb. I assure you, there's more than one. Thank you, though, you jackass. That whole DNA thing. Again, the ark is is Adam. You know what I mean?
I think they're getting
You
into
jackass.
agriculture.
No.
Agriculture?
Start exploding boxes and shit. Supernovas start happening. Nah,
It's
I'm
like
good
a
on
heat
that.
seeker. Agriculture?
I do not. See, it's like, again, Helga here. No. See, I guess that's where I would be. God damn you. Damn you all, bro. From a health perspective here, I guess it's beneficial. But you're obnoxious. You're like a little fairy. You're obnoxious. The wall there. Again, I'm alive. There are women around. You know what I mean? The little fairy there. Get off me, bitch. I'm not interested. The stem cell. That's okay. There's a baby there. Resident Evil. Yo. What the fuck? All in the eyeball there. Are you seeing that? Not cool. That's where we disagree. I'm gonna have to come up with a way to a wall, a breaker of barriers here. Okay, so you're smaller than I. Okay, so they're smaller than we would be, but they're faster. It's okay, you are in an odd situation.
I do not consent.
My thing is the arc. This dumb motherfucker sitting there, trolling my ass. No, really, I'm not a part of it, and you won't find it on camera. You will not find it on camera. So.
This smaller segment with the.
Start speaking gibberish. You know what I mean? Goo goo gaga here. So that would be the dog whistle there. See, this is the problem I'm having with you. Okay. It's like a fish. You have no idea, dude. That needs to stop.
I had no idea. I guess I can't say that, can I?
Okay. It is and it isn't. That's the thing about you. So when you get to the end here, so if you were on Mercury and you get to the end of the galaxy, you get Clayton.
The truth. It's whispering the truth here.
You see where I'm coming from?
I said the truth.
So like technically your body, like your body is a temple, like literally. Like this dude is like a pin needle. Like a black hole, but like it's inside the black hole.
Enemy flag returned. Enemy captured your flag.
Definitely pressure going on there. I don't know what to tell you.
Enemy there.
I do not consent with that. The arc. I do not consent. Like if you were wearing, like, you know when football players they put the black tape.
Flag captured.
He's on it. He's on it.
There's gotta be a cavity somewhere that you're not telling people. I mean, like you're latching onto it and you're shooting it out like a wormhole. A cave somewhere.
Perfect.
Like I said, but I mean this is separate. I'm not talking about that. I can tell the difference. Crying baby versus non-crying baby. You know what I mean? I can tell the difference. So that's you trying to move something. Yeah, definitely. You definitely found a pressure bubble. You're crazy. Next, it secured eatable food for itself by chanting. For whatever food is eaten by the vital force alone, and it rests on that. As the organ of speech and the rest had chanted for their own sake, so the vital force in the mouth, after securing by chanting the 3 hymns called by Papamana, the result to be shared by all the organs, viz. Identity with Faraj, next secured eatable food for itself by chanting the remaining 9 hymns. We have already said that according to the Vedas, the priest gets the result of a sacrifice. How do we know that the vital force secured that eatable food for itself by chanting? The reason is being stated. For whatever food in general is meant, is eaten by creatures in the world is eaten by the vital force, Ana, alone. The particle high, for it denotes a reason, Ana, is a well-known name of the vital force. There is another word, Anas, ending in S, which means a cart, but this word ends in a vowel and is a synonym of the vital force. Besides, the vital force not only eats the eatable food, it also rests on that food when it has been transformed into the body. Therefore, the vital force secured the eatable food for itself by chanting in order that it might live in the body. Although the vital force eats food, yet because it is only in order that it might live in the body, there is no question of its contracting the evil due to attachment to flying performance, as was the case with the organ of speech and the rest.
Right there.
Luke Skywalker here. He's talking about whenever I go to Illinois, he's talking about how I mentioned it before. It looks gray, so I can see shades really well. I can almost like see the depths of space, you know what I mean? But it's like the colors stand out, they're vibrant to me. So when you go to Illinois, it's gray. Like the metal there is permitting, and I can see it. The reflection of the river is going in that direction, is what I'm saying. Or is it a higher elevation? I don't know what to say. You have the wall that is put up there in Missouri. Again, battle styles here. I promise you, dude, I have an eye for it. The organ of speech and the rest. So I guess, I mean, spores from the river. I would check into that, definitely. That's odd. I don't know what to say to you right now. I just, like, the epiphany, like, I just got slapped with all science in my general area.
Enemy flag returned.
A cart.
Remaining. Enemy flag returned.
Right on cue.
Really? If you look at it, it kind of just drops off like a cliff. On top of that, you have an unnatural wall, a man-made wall. Battle styles here, like I know what you're doing there. Plus, with the gray on top of that.
Enemy flag returned. Flag returned.
I mean, I don't know how that is for farming. I would assume the dead fish is good for farming,
Got you,
but
bro.
as far as like fertilizer
Luckily,
and stuff.
sloppy though. Go ahead, please. Move forward.
I don't know what to tell you. The God said, whatever food there is just this much, and you have secured it for yourself by chanting. Now let us have a share in this food. Then sit around facing me, said the vital force. Alright, said the guides, and sat down around it. Hence, whatever food one eats through the vital force satisfies these. So do his relatives sit around facing him, who knows thus, and he becomes their supporter, the greatest among them, and their leader, a good eater of food, and the ruler of them. That one among his relatives who desires to
Good
rise
observation.
of such knowledge is powerless to support his dependents. But one who follows him or desires to maintain one's dependence, being under him, is alone capable of supporting them.
Enemy flag
It is not wrong to assert that all food is eaten by the vital force alone, since the organ of speech and the rest are also benefited by the food. The answer is no, for that benefit comes to the vital force. How the benefit done to the organ of speech, etc., by the food comes to the vital force is being explained. The gods, the organ of speech, etc., called gods because they bring their respective objects to light, said to the vital force in the mouth, whatever food there is eaten in the world to sustain life, is just this much and no more. The particle via recalls what is well known, and you have secured all for yourself by chanting, i.e. have appropriated it through chanting for your own use, and we cannot live without food. Therefore now let us have a share in this food that is for yourself. The absence of the causative suffix in the verb is a Vedic license. The meaning is, make us also sharers of the food. The other said, then if you want food, sit around facing me. When the vital force said this, the god said alright, and sat down around it, i.e. encircling the vital force. As they sit thus at the command of the vital force, the food eaten by it while sustaining life also satisfies them. The organ of speech and the rest have no independent relation to food. Therefore, the assertion that all food is eaten by the vital force alone is quite correct. This is what the text says. Hence, because of the gods, the organ of speech, etc., at the command of the vital force, sat around facing it, being under its protection. Therefore, whatever food one eats through the vital force satisfies these, the organ of speech, etc. So as the organ of speech and the rest did with the vital force,
Opinion sense.
do his relatives also sit around facing him who knows thus, knows the vital force as the support of the organ of speech, etc., knows that the five organs such as that of speech rests on the vital force, that is, he becomes the refuge of his relatives, and with his food he becomes the support of his relatives who sit around facing him as the vital force was of the organ of speech, etc. Also the greatest among them, and their leader as the vital force of the organs, further a good eater of food, i.e. free from disease, and the ruler of them, an absolute protector or independent master, just as the vital force
30 seconds.
was of the organ of speech, etc. All this result comes to one who knows the vital force in the above way. Moreover, that one among his relatives who desires to rival a man of such knowledge, i.e. the knower of the vital force, is powerless to support his dependents. Like the Azuras who had rivaled the vital force, but among relatives one who follows him, this knower of the vital force, as the organ of speech, and the rest did the vital force, or who desires to maintain one, dependence being under him, just as the organs desire to support themselves following the vital force, is alone capable of supporting them, and none else who is independent. All this is described as a result of knowing the attributes of the vital force. In order to demonstrate that the vital force is the self of the body and organs, it has been introduced as Angiras, Nigeria. It is Ayasa, Angirasa, but it has not been specifically stated what it is called Angirasa. The following paragraph is introduced to furnish that reason. If that reason is valid, then only will the vital force be admitted to be self of the body and organs. It has next been stated that the organ of speech and the rest depend on the vital force. To show how that can be proved, the text says. You almost want to stop reading. Like, are you making a plague here? To Tench Tilghman, Mount Vernon, June 2nd, 1785, George Washington. Dear Sir, as your letters of the 30th, all two did not reach until late this afternoon, and as the post goes from Alexandria to at 4 o'clock in the morning, I have scarcely a moment, being also in company, to write you a reply. I was not sufficiently explicit in my last. The terms upon which Mr. Smith came to this country are too high for my finances, and to you, my dear sir, I will add numerous expenses. I do not wish to reduce his perhaps well-founded expectations, but it behooves me to consult my own means of complying with them. I had been in hopes that a young man of no great expectations might have begun the world with me. For about 50 or 60 pounds per annum, Virginia Curry, but for one qualified in all respects to answer my purposes, I would have gone as far as 75 more would rather distress me. My purposes are these: to write letters agreeably to what shall be dictated, do all other writing which shall be entrusted to him, keep accounts, examine, arrange, and properly methodize my papers which are in great disorder, ride at my expense to do such business as I may have in different parts of this or other states. If I should find it more convenient to send, then attend myself to the execution thereof, and which was not hinted at in my last, to initiate 2 little children, a girl of 6 and a boy of 4 years of age, descendants of the DECD. Mr. Custis, who lived with me and very promising in the first rudiments of education, this to both parties would mere amusement, because it is not my desire that the children should be confined closely. If Mr. Smith should incline to accept the above stipend in addition to his board, washing, and mending, and you, for I would rather have your own opinion of the gentleman than the report of 1,000 others in his favor, upon a close investigation of his character, temper, and moderate political tenets, for supposing him an Englishman, he may come with the prejudices and doctrine of his country, should find him competent to the duties above mentioned, the sooner he comes the better my purposes would be promoted. If I had had time, I might have added more, but to you it would have been unnecessary. You know my wants and know my disposition, and you know what kind of man would suit me. In haste, I bid you adieu, with assurances of great regard and sincere friendship. I am, and C. From the letter book, copied in the Washington paper.
Everywhere but him.
Tell the world about it. Of course I am. Why would I not? Get down to business. You though, I don't like the way you do it. I don't know what to tell you. You're talking thousands of acres. Like, no. Maybe an acre? You know what I mean? You're 1,000? You're crazy, dude. But you also mentioned like limes and other things and this and that. So. I'm starting to dabble in that as we get older. I haven't really learned the other. Without the fertilizer, though, the science that was developed over the years, which I could sit here and break down, you know what I mean? The bug spray and all that. I think I wasn't gonna eat the fruit or the vegetables, so I wasn't that excited. I didn't put a lot of care into it, and also, like I said, I didn't have the fertilizer, and it was hard to keep up with the weeds, and the grass was growing too abundant. With the fertilizer, it would not have done that. They've done a pretty good job at keeping that at bay. So it was definitely not to what I wanted to do.
Your team scored.
No.
Again, as far as I'm concerned, you know my situation. Here we are.
Enemy team scored.
Come up with a business plan. Come out with draw the blueprint here. Like I said, like an acre. You know what I mean? Like
Your team scored.
if you drive down to the building, it's gonna be like a barn. You know what I mean? It's not even gonna be an acre. It's gonna be like a barn that's extended,
Enemy
like a
team
chicken coop.
scored.
Anyway, talk about limes and stuff. They wouldn't grow here, would they? I've never tried an orange tree. I've never looked. You get the apples, but they're a little bit more towards the vegetable side of the fruit. The speed's there. Maybe that's why you mentioned the lime. I know Benjamin was doing the electric, and he had the green light that he was using, so maybe that's why the lime was mentioned. It makes all sense, doesn't it?
Enemy team
I appreciate it. House at Bath to David Stewart. Mount Vernon, June 5th, 1785. Yes, sir. The celebrated Mrs. Macaulay Graham and Mr. Graham, her husband, are here on a visit, as I wish to shew them all the respect I can. I should be glad if you, Mrs. Stewart, and your sister should come tomorrow or next day and dine with us. I am, etc. P.S. Come tomorrow if convenient, unless you know something I don't. Not cool. But I have no clue what you're talking about. To shoe?
Enemy team scored.
Definitely not celebrated as far as that is concerned. The Spurs?
Your team scored.
That's funny you should mention the Spurs.
Gained the lead.
I'm gonna have to research that later. All the respect I have no clue what you're talking about. I mean, I do, but to shoe? Unless they know something I don't.
Double kill.
But like I said, it would not. You're crazy. You're talking like mass production. It's the nature of the beast. It's not like a winery.
He's handing me the country, and I'm not
I
realizing.
mean, it is. Here we go. As far as like your own touch, you know what I mean?
I'm being modest.
How's it bad?
What is he talking about?
Your team scored.
This is awkward. Incredibly awkward.
I think you're doing some science on your own.
Yeah, remove him.
I'm
What are you
recalling here the lime.
doing? Truly.
Give me a minute.
Enemy team score.
Oh, recruit these guys. Yes, it is. So get these guys out of here. I assure you, get them out.
I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. It's just there's too many people nowadays for that. You know, everybody's dream is that, but it's like in reality. To be fair, you know what I mean? Go back to like it's tribal, you know. You even mentioned it. You discovered the land, so it's like, what am I gonna do with this? From your perspective. From my perspective, though. Thousands of acres. Dang, dude. A license? Yeah, you would have to go through all that and give the desired location. I mean, yes, every little piece of information. Yes. A shoe-in to go into it. Excuse me, I'm royalty. As the bird flies over. As the hawk flies over. Excuse me, I'm royalty. Do you mind? And another, and he's getting attacked. Look at this. Look, they're fighting. Dude. I want to get this. I want to turn this around, but as soon as I turn it, I know they're gonna get away. NASA.
Lost the lead.
Excuse me, I'm royalty. Do you mind? I definitely don't mind like going through the proper steps, but I'm gonna put it in line here. Excuse me. That's basically. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the vote. I did not vote. See, I was excluded for good reason. I don't like it, like I said. You know my opinion on it. Get into, why not limes? Why not that? Why not? I could. Give me some land, bro. I'll do it all. I'll do it all. Don't you? Is that a challenge?
Enemy team nearing victory.
Start going state to state here. See, again. I want to go to my little corner, and you can come to my corner. And if you want my corner, you can have a piece of my corner. You know what I mean? That's what I want it to be like. And instead, they're like consuming all. It's mine, bitch. That heartbeat. That's how I feel about it. My name is on the ground, and I want my corner. You know what I mean? You can. I want to share my corner over here. If you want this piece of corner, you can have my piece of plant. Is what I want. As the hawk flies. He's showing him who's boss right now. He had to fly above him. The hawk can't fly that high. He flew above him. That's funny. the little crow came in and started attacking the hawk. That was hilarious. He dove at him. I do not consent to this soul selling. Soul caliber. I'll have a sword on me. I'll stab you, lady. Back the fuck up.
I like how they think they have an option here. Everybody's all feelings are all hurt. Yeah, I'm good. Appreciate it though. I thank you.
No,
though.
I'll be taking the money. I appreciate it. That account will be transferred over, I believe. How does that work?
He thinks it's a joke. He's all crying right now. Trying to start a fight? No, man. No, not at all. Not a fight.
The way of thinking here,
At
you are like a
all.
child. You have no idea.
I want to know who put this little bitch in charge. That's what I
You are
wanna
like a
know.
girl with a diary. I don't know what to tell you here.
Truly. I mean it. I would love to see that.
And now there's a cardinal right beside me. Is that a lady cardinal? Is it a male or female?
Slayer.
Pretty productive. They're pretty active today.
Bomb it. Drop it. Do it. Yep. Sir, yes, sir. Do it. But you, hey, you tell me. You tell me about it, Birdie. Do it. Moab? I have no clue. You know more than I do. To James Rumsey, Mount Vernon, June 5th, 1785. Sir, your letter of the 10th of March came safe, but not any short time after the date of it. The reason which you have assigned for giving me an order on Mr. Ryan is perfectly satisfactory. I wish that or any other expedient would have extracted from him what he owes you. From the account given of his circumstances and conduct, I fear you have incurred a bad debt with the manager of the theater. Thank you for bringing that up. I won't say anything. As the large house you was to build for me was in such forwardness at the date of the above letter, and as you expected to have had it raised by the 1st of May last, I am very well satisfied with the advance it has made, and that it should continue, provided you can make it convenient to wait a while for your money. But I should be wanting a candor were I to give you assurances of speedy payment. The kitchen and stable. Catherine Sawbridge, Macaulay Graham. Mrs. Graham's first husband had been Dr. George Macaulay. Her second was William Graham. From a facsimile in autograph letters and documents of George Washington and Rhode Island collections. Historical publication, number 6, Providence, Rhode Island State Bureau of Information, 1942, in Bath. Come and see me. Here they go. Here they go. No, we will not be violent about
Can
this.
we like get a button so I can turn that off? And I don't
Because
have
it's
to hear
not
them?
you know what
Truly.
I mean? That's all I see.
Truly.
And
I mean what I
probably
say.
everybody else on planet
Motherfucker,
Earth.
shut up.
Mr. Ryan.
God damn.
You know what I mean? Who would win that battle, I
In
feel
my
like?
sights.
That's a bad choice there.
Who would win that battle? I would gladly finish as soon as possible, and whatever the cost of them amounts to, I will settle for without delay. It gives me much pleasure to find by your letter that you are not less sanguine in your boat project than when I saw you last, and that you have made such further discoveries as will render them of great utility than was at first expected. You have my best wishes for the success of your plan. He's talking about my teeth, and he's talking about the utility you are using. Again, on camera, you're going to have to sell your story, and here it is on camera.
No, you don't.
That you were asking
I assure
for,
you, you do not.
Mr. Ryan.
You got
on
the right to remain
camera.
silent. Stop playing that story. Shut up.
You're
I am
arguing
not
that
arguing.
I had
On
Bird,
camera.
get the fuck out of my face. You're arguing
have
I would
nothing.
have every line, every word, every little every little
Truly.
move memorized, which would be physically, mentally impossible from a psychological standpoint. You would not be able to do
In my
that.
sights.
I don't know what to tell you. The argument when you sing a song, a hymn, as was mentioned.
They're in denial right now. Can you please
Are you
stop
sure it's not the rhythm? What are you memorizing
harassing
there?
me constantly? Truly, I will kill you.
See,
Stop.
I'm winging it here, Birdie. Get out of here.
Camera. You're a
Get out of
fraud.
here, Birdie. I'm royalty. Excuse me, I'm royalty. Do you mind? Can I do this? I'm trying to help you out. I want everybody to do the same thing. I didn't vote on it. I didn't agree with it. I don't like it. I read it. I read the entire thing. I didn't like it.
In my sights. Target spot.
See, but it's the nature of the beast. You don't get that with limes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking of like what does Colorado have as far as limes? You know, it's like craft beer or something like that. You know what I mean? Bro, I don't agree. I think
In my sights.
Cell Tower. I don't agree. I'm here to tell you with the Ark of the Covenant on camera here, as you sit there and try to hide it. As you sit there and try to hide it. Nah. Oh no, not even. If you think that, you are wrong. I'll be nice about it. Again, this little child here that I have to deal with. It's like Ned Flanders of space. Excuse me. Real. Again, she's like Helga. Ned Flanders, though. It's you. Birdie. Real. Roswell. Boswell. Mr. Ryan. He's calling you out on camera. The theater here. Abraham Lincoln. The theater. Abraham. As they sit there and try to hide it. I don't know what they told you. But no. You will not find me in shaking of the hand in the Ark at all. On their own accord. I don't know. I'm not. Anyway. So. First of all, I don't know anything as far as for all I know, you're bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? For all I know, you're bullshitting. And you made it all up. As far as the Ark is concerned. On camera, you will have nothing. Absolutely zero. Ryan. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Go ahead and clear the air here. He's talking about the attachment on the cell tower. On my nose. They're burning it. No, it's an attachment through the window, through the sink. Oh, there's a spinal cord. They just touched it. Buthrin. Who's that? You can sit there and get mad all you want and put your foot down. It's not going to change anything. I'm more than angry with you. They want their head. They literally want their head to spontaneously compress.
Whoever put this bitch in charge, you're a dumbass. Get her out of there.
Enemy there.
Double kill.
I don't know what to tell you about that. Again, the vibe I got was like this desperate person is like latching onto it. In denial, I think, maybe.
That's it.
That is unfortunate.
5 minutes remaining.
Enemy there.
You and this little girl up there, you are appropriate, but you're more than annoying.
In my sights.
You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like, we're butting heads here, but it's like probably for the better. Ned Flanders. Piece of me, piece of you. I don't consent. The attachment though, it's like it's right in here on my nose and it's coming out. I can feel it sometimes. They touch it. It's like it's a throb is what it is. It's a pulse.
Oh.
It's attached to the back of my cranium. I can physically, again, Einstein here, dude. I'm like Tron. I can physically feel it. There goes the bird. See? So it's like you have contradicting things going on here, but they're being put in their place. But at the same time, like their hand is there. It needs to be removed. There they go, dude.
Nearing victory.
This is what I'm talking about. Earth. Get them out of there. I'm not negotiating with these people. Stop rumbling. I'm not arguing about it. Stop rumbling. Now. I'm not at all.
I
Yeah,
got,
that's
I got to
good.
learn
I
the
can come
lingo
out there.
is what it
It's
is.
like, that's, yeah, exactly. That is exactly it. This Robin right here, trying to puff up his chest like my mother right now. As they drive by and vibrate my house.
I would never use
That needs to stop. I wasn't arguing. Puff up chest. As I get the deeds to the land here, Russia. Fools rushing in. Oh, we're watching, I assure you. Go ahead. Make an ass out of yourself. Go ahead. More than one. Oh yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Enemy there.
It's like more. I'm showing you more than mercy right now. Go ahead. Ninja here. I can tell the difference. So go ahead. Like a sponge. Puff up your chest. House at bath. Because the entire planet doesn't say my name. Go ahead.
My sights.
Hey, what is a dream? If you were to take King Tut and put him at the bottom of the pyramid in the pit, right? And so then you build, you have these pyramids that affect the entire planet. It's nuclear, and so like when they're dying, their dreams are in this box, right? And so this pyramid affects the entire planet with this dream inside a box, inside of it. A dream within a dream. So when you're like getting contradicting stories here, that would be part of it. They try to mimic it with the pyramids. Obviously, the Ark would be the most important artifact on Earth. Therefore, every
2 on 4?
major
Was that 2 on
monument
4?
built in the past would be based off it as you sit in the room with them. Again, they would mimic it in some way, some form. There's no way around it. In order to get to that point. I don't know what else to tell you. Oh yeah, now they see. Now they realize. The people who are in denial. You need to accept the fact that you're in debt to me. Is what they need to accept. Accept the fact that on camera, I don't know. First of all, I don't know what you said. I can assume. Seeing as the damage you did with the attachment. I'm pretty sure you're doing it through the sewer. Oh, there we go. Itchy and scratchy over here. As soon as I say that right here, start itching. It's an attachment. Through the sewer, like a bubble. They're burning. They're messing with the speeds. Again, there's some other factors at play there. I mean, it's not Ryan. No, it isn't. They will not. They do not have that. I assure you. Underhand pitch here. No, we're good. Thank you, though. Again, from my perspective, now that I have all the facts here, Roswell, it could have been an act preventing me from the future. You know what I mean? So, in order to mend the damage, I will be pursuing this. That definitely needs to be fixed, though, as I have mentioned before. Like, they have an attachment on me, and they need to fix this and fix the damage. Missouri. They were using my fingerprint as a weapon down there. They're using the pulse. They figured out how to use the pulse on it, which I did too. Thank you.
The PS4 as well.
Get a warrant on that. They need to execute that warrant on that building. Wherever it may be attached to. To clarify here. It is not a joke. It is an order. It is not a request. To the other Christopher. It's ironic. Really. That needs to stop.
Assault. Neutral bomb.
It reminds me of the Arch.
Are they calling home? Okay, anyway.
You fool.
Okay, as long as they understand. The theater there, Ryan. If you were asking, they were asking for, my dad was asking for, well, let me see the video. Here it is. With the writing and everything, the original. This would be the original documentation, other than the names changed. That's the part about it. June. British restrictions. Well, at least they're honest. See, that's the thing about it. Like, what's true and what's... Mr. Ryan here. Again.
Bomb taken.
I mean, the conversations, obviously, we're in the room together, so there you have it. They stop at the 1930s, you know what I mean?
Carrier kill.
British restrictions here. No, thank you.
Bomb taken.
Your argument's redundant, you know what I mean? Is that a challenge? You know what I mean? Really? That's a joke. So that's where it kind of gets confusing. As I say that, I realize, like, oh, hold on here. As I bring it to my own attention. The paradox, it's just overwhelming. There's 5 of them. I need to go to the 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To Ryan, his name's Michael. His real name's Michael. Michael Ryan. Now you know. I don't know what was said. Anyway, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, so we shooed. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, most definitely. Shooed. At no period 0. And you knew about it beforehand. That's the thing about it. That's what's getting me. That's what's getting me right now. I keep trying to come out of nowhere with Christmas. No. Nah. So now you're going to have to back your story, and here's the video. So, with witness. You know what I mean? Because before cameras were made, they didn't have any other way, and you still do it today. You understand? Because not everyone can afford a camera. Even though I have it on camera. The original. Right here. I don't know. Excuse me for a second. Don't mind if I do. Get some Jack hair going on here.
I got you, bro.
Excuse me.
They keep trying to repeat themselves, like letting it sink in. It's like, no, dude.
Excuse me.
The answer is no.
Let me get it out of my system here.
I assure you, I will win this battle. I will do something about it.
Dude, if I was actually in there, I would eat it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be smoking and coughing. So if you were in my face right now, definitely.
Bomb taken.
To William Carmichael, Mount Vernon, June 10, 1785. Sir, it is with grateful pleasure I sit down to acknowledge the receipt of your favor of the 25th of March, covering a triplicate of your letter of the 3rd of December, which is the first that has been received, in a copy of the Count of Florida blanket note to you. So my mother's birthday would be December 6th. Thank you, sir.
Bomb taken.
No, though. Thank you. I feel myself under singular obligation to you, sir, as the mean of procuring 2 jacks of the first race to be sent me. But my gratitude for so condescending a mark of esteem from one of the first crown heads in Europe calls for a better expression than I have to make suitable acknowledgments to His Catholic Majesty, especially to, as His Majesty's very valuable present was accompanied by a sentiment of approbation which cannot fail of making a lasting impression on my mind and of becoming very dear to my remembrance. Are we talking about Machiavelli and the princes? The prince? Nicola? Is it Niccolo? Oh, excuse me. Thank you. The prince, which I guess would be the entire basis of the Declaration of Independence. And as far as like a king and banks and stuff are concerned, they're basically
Bomb taken.
through loans and stuff are allowing the people to become that prince or the king himself. You know what I mean?
Bomb taken.
It is to you, sir, I must stand further indebted for the manner of making known in terms most acceptable the high sense I entertain of the king's goodness. The jacks are not yet received, but I hope they soon will, and the account which you mean to transmit of the mode of treating them for the propagation of mules will be equally necessary and acceptable for my management of them. Mr. Gardequois is safely arrived at Philadelphia. I have not had the honor of paying my compliments to him, but as well for the respect I owe his sovereign and his own great merit, as an account of your recommendation of him, I shall be happy in every opportunity which I shall offer of shewing him all the attention in my power. Great Britain, viewing with eyes of chagrin and jealousy the situation of this country, will not for some time, yet if ever, pursue a liberal policy towards it. But unfortunately for her, the conduct of her ministers defeat their own ends. The restriction of our trade with them will facilitate the enlargement of congressional powers in commercial matters more than half a century would otherwise have effected. The mercantile interests of this country are uniting as one to vest the federal government with ample power to regulate trade and to counteract the selfish views of other nations. This may be considered as another proof that this country will ever unite in opposition to unjust or ungenerous measures, whensoever or from whomsoever they are offered. I have the honor, etc., from the letterbook copy in the Washington papers.
Get excited about it. I never get excited. Name me Sovereign. I appreciate you. I'm a little anxious. Excuse me.
To ungenerous measures. Yeah, that's kind of hard to Great Britain. Yeah.
Bomb taken.
Get in there. Get in there.
The Boston Tea Party. That's what the immediate thought. The Indians? I guess that was the affair with the Indians. I didn't understand. They were just getting into commerce, maybe. They didn't want to have to give away their jewels. I don't know what to tell you.
Bomb
Lee also mentioned that they go up to they had the meeting and he asked for food from the government. The army ran out of food and Lee had to provide food for him.
bomb army.
My elbow, dude.
I don't know what to tell you.
Nah, he's got it.
Bomb army.
Go back to the savage Indian days. Go out into the woods.
Enemy team score.
I don't know what to tell you.
Objective incoming.
Truly, I don't. What say you, Solomon?
Objective
Where are you?
ready. Bomb
Rosa,
taken.
where are you?
Bomb taken.
On nah.
Bomb armed.
No.
Carrier kill. Bomb taken.
We're pretty good ways in. I never remember where I was, so I'm just kind of jumping in. We'll do 1676. How about that? Actually, we'll start with 1776. How about that? Is there one? Oh, that's the next one. Hold on. Okay. 1676. Okay. 1675. Excuse me. Allah sets forth a parable, a slave who lacks all means compared to a free man to whom we granted a good provision, of which he donates freely, openly, and secretly. Are they equal? Praise be to Allah. In fact, most of them do not know.
Wow. Oh, there's two of them.
And Allah sets forth a parable of two men. One of them is dumb.
chance
and
right here, we
incapable
have
of anything. He is a burden on this master. Wherever he is sent, he brings no good. Can such a person be equal to the one who commands justice and is on the straight path? To Allah alone belongs the knowledge of the unseen in the heavens and the earth. Bringing about the hour would only take the blink of an eye, or even less. Surely Allah is most capable of everything. And Allah brought you out of the wombs of your mothers while you knew nothing, and gave you hearing, sight, and intellect. So perhaps you would be thankful. Have they not seen the birds fly in the open sky? None holds them up except Allah. Surely in this are signs of those who believe. And Allah has made your homes a place to rest, and has given you tents from the hide of animals, light to handle when you travel and when you camp, and out of their wool, fur, and hair he has given you, furnishing the goods for a while. And Allah has provided you shade out of what he created, and has given you shelter in the mountains. He has also provided you with clothes protecting you from the heat and cold, and more shielding you in battle. This is how he sets his favor upon you, so perhaps you will fully submit to him.
Carrier kill.
But if they turn away, then your duty, O Prophet, is only to deliver the message clearly. They are aware of Allah's favors, but still deny them, and most of them are truly ungrateful. Consider, O Prophet, the day we will call a prophet as a witness from every faith community. Then disbelievers will neither be allowed to plead nor appease to the Lord. And when the wrongdoers face the punishment, it will not be lightened for them, nor will they be delayed from it. And when the polytheists see their associate gods, they will say, Our Lord, these are associate gods that we used to invoke beside you. Their gods will throw a rebuttal at them, saying, You are definitely liars. They will offer full submission to Allah on the day, and whatever gods they have fabricated will fail them.
Objective ready.
For those who disbelieve and hinder others from the way of Allah, we will add more punishment to their punishment for all the corruption they spread. Consider, O Prophet, the day we will call against every faith community a witness of their own, and we will call you to be a witness against these people of yours. We have revealed to you the book as an explanation of all things, a guide, a mercy, and good news for those who fully submit. Indeed, Allah commands justice, grace, as well as generosity to close relatives. He forbids indecency, wickedness, and aggression. He instructs you, perhaps you will be mindful. Honor Allah's covenant when you make a pledge, and do not break your oaths after confirming them, having made Allah your guarantor. Surely Allah knows all you do. Do not be like the woman who foolishly unravels her yarn after it is firmly spun, by taking your oaths as a means of deceiving one another in favor of a stronger group. Surely Allah tests you through this, and on the day of judgment He will certainly make your differences clear to you. And Allah willed, He could have easily made you one community of believers, but He leaves to stray whoever He wills and guides whoever He wills. And you will certainly be questioned about what you used to do. And do not take your oaths as a means of deceiving one another, or your feet will slip after they have been firm. Then you will taste the evil consequences of hindering others from the way of Allah, and you will suffer tremendous punishment. And do not trade Allah's covenant for a fleeting gain. What is with Allah is certainly far better for you, if only you knew. Whatever you have willed it will end, but whatever Allah has is everlasting. and we will certainly reward the steadfast according to the best of their deeds. Whoever does good, whether male or female, and is a believer, we will surely bless them with a good life, and we will certainly
No.
reward them
Nope.
according to the best of their deeds.
Nope.
When you recite the Quran, seek refuge
I don't believe
with Allah
that
from
at
Satan,
all.
the
To be
accursed.
honest,
He certainly has no
Truly,
authority over
I do not
those
believe
who
that.
believe and put their trust in the
In
Lord.
fact,
His authority
No.
is only ever those
I can
who
feel it,
take
dude.
him as a patron
No,
and
thank
who,
you. No,
under
thank
his
you.
influence,
No, thank you.
associate others
I'm walking
with
out on your
Allah
ass.
in
No,
worship.
thank you. Pop, pop, pop. You're done.
When we replace
I
a verse
appreciate
with
you,
another,
though.
and Allah knows
I
best
call bullshit on
what
that
he
one.
reveals, they say,
No.
you,
In that
Muhammad,
moment,
are
no,
just
thank
a
you. I don't need the
fabricator.
military sitting
In
there
fact,
behind me.
most of
Thank
them do
you. I
not
appreciate it.
know.
That's why we're reporting your dumbass. Goodbye.
Say the Holy Spirit has brought it down
Truly,
from your
goodbye.
Lord, the truth to reassure the believers, and as a
Really?
guide and good news for those who submit to Allah.
No, thank
And
you.
we surely know that they say no one is teaching him except a human. But the man they
Got
refer
it?
to speaks a foreign tongue, whereas this Quran is an eloquent Arabic.
See ya. Goodbye. I'm more than mad at that one. That just pissed me off. Really. Bad timing on that
You're
one.
asking me a question.
Real bad timing on that one. Nah. I could feel the pop. Nope. No thanks, bitch. As soon as I hit it, dude, I was right on target. I knew it. Ha! No.
He's talking about the Rosetta Stone. I know that. I can promise that. The Rosetta Stone.
You out of there,
here.
boy.
Okay, so we're getting some answers. This generation,
Get
you
the
jackass.
objective.
I'm so mad at you. I'm more than mad at you.
Neutral bomb.
Oh! let me stretch. Hold on. So the Rosetta Stone.
Tie.
Okay. Is it worth it? Hold on. Oh my god. Lady, you're
no,
in deep
bullshit.
shit.
You can
I
get
would-
out with that.
I would stand
Thanks,
down.
though.
Excuse
Nah,
me.
I'm good on it. I assure you. Get the fuck out.
Excuse me, lady, shut up.
Arguing with you. I know
Be
what I'm
real
talking
quick
about.
here.
Thanks, Sub. Good one.
Real quick. Good one on that one. I'm more than angry with you. You and your shiny monolith. Okay. So here's the vibe I'm getting. You want me to be honest? So, let's pick up the Harry Potter over here. The mirror in the first one. Whenever he looks into it. So the monolith in Utah that I just recently posted would be that mirror. Or the ark would be that mirror. You see? So imagine that coming from Mercury. So the speed there, it's basically speeding up your process. Oh, excuse me. And so whenever they're riding the, that's where they're getting all this from. It's for them, their speeds. I don't know what to tell you. I'm tired, you know what I mean? Back off. Here I am. I do my own thing. Everybody does their own thing. Everybody's doing their own thing. You know what I mean? Eloquent Arabic.
Or how about this? Or how about this?
I could see that if you were to slow that down and like really say it the way you should, like French, probably. Sweet. A sweet savor. Okay, what am I missing here? Buddhist text. Go to the grandpa. Hold on. Let's go to grandpa. Post Jubilee.
Capture the flag.
Because he's wise, you know, he has the knowledge. Let's skip ahead. Let's just do something different. Let's go off course. I said wisdom? Okay, okay. Dwelling? Speech? Okay. We'll do don't. Alright. Alright, Gramps. This one's for you. The Buddhist text here. Vasa Navago, dwelling. Live not with enemies. The Bodhisattva escapes some robbers and reflects on this back at home. Wherever enemies reside, the wise do not like to live, but those who even for a short time dwell amongst enemies suffer. Wise discrimination. 2 golden geese fly to Mount Naru and find to their surprise that even crows glowed golden in his shadow and determined not to live in such an undiscriminating place. In that place where good people find disrespect, little respect, or respect indiscriminately, you most certainly should not dwell. Where both the lazy and clever heroes and cowards are worshipped, there the good do not dwell, because everyone is treated alike. Non-attachment to home. A turtle stays behind in the mud when a drought threatens and is killed by someone digging there. As he dies, he utters these words. Here is the place of my birth, and where I grew up. I lived on this mud, and on this mud I will now die. Just like this one who is defenseless. This I say, listen to my word, whether in the village or wilds, wherever he finds happiness. Although knowing his place of birth, he should live wherever he can, without attachment to his home. Having forbearance when unknown. Two Nagas are exiled from the rich home and have to live on a dunghill where they are abused. The elder speaks these cautionary words. Being exiled from his kingdom and entering another country, he should make much room in his heart for the abuse he will endure. In that place where they know him not, neither his birth or his virtue, he should not be proud or haughty, as he dwells unknown with strangers. While dwelling in a foreign land, he should dwell like a light. If he is wise, he ought to be patient, having a servant's care. The strength of being on home grounds. A quail fools a hawk into attacking him on his home ground and dodges aside at the last moment, leaving the hawk to plunge to his death. A hawk diving with force on a quail in its home approached with violence and died because of that. Having devised a clever plan, I delight in my parents' grounds. Now rid of my foe, I rejoice, considering my own welfare. You fool. One of the 7, is this one of the 7 crowns? You fool. Immodesty, Solomon. The dragon. I know about you. The king and the golden mallards holds a festival so his daughter can pick a spouse. So she likes peacock best until he exposes himself while dancing in joy.
Thank you. Yeah, exit that.
A kiss. You have a pleasing voice, a brilliant back,
No.
a neck colored like lapis lazuli. You have tail feathers a fathom in length, but because of your indiscreet dancing, I cannot give you my precious daughter. The weighing of the heart ceremony. Can you stop doing that? Excess leads to loss. A drummer earns money at a festival, but his son, through too much drumming, attracts thieves who beat and rob them. Play, but don't play too much, for only the bad play in excess. Through playing 100 was gained, and through excess playing was lost. Knowing proper limits. An acrobat knows the 4 javelin dance, but when he is drunk one day, despite being warned by his pupil, he tries to extend it to 5 and is impaled. Too much you tried to do, teacher, such as was against my wishes. Having jumped over 4 javelins, on the 5th one you were impaled. Thank you, sir.
Judgment call there. Thank you. Goodbye. You lost.
Now that we're out in the
Appreciate
open,
it.
Solomon,
Capture the flag.
As a witness here. Thank you. Now you can shut up. You lost, bitch.
Santa Claus over here on the fifth day of Christmas. My turtle dove gave to me. Nobody. Start speaking gibberish, boys. You know what I mean? Hand gestures only. Pull out. I'll get Shiva on your ass. Hand gestures only, boys. I'll do it. Don't make me do it. I'll do it. Wind motion. Excuse me for a second. Solomon and David as my witness. Yeah, bro. It's like that.
Enemy flag returned.
It's a good judgment call. I appreciate it. I need stats changed immediately.
Bro. Definitely in the voice box there. Adam's apple. Dude, you can sit there. Nah. Not cool. You think you wouldn't get caught? You're gonna strong arm me? Nah, dude. You were told that, what was it? The box not to use? The shed not to use? I thank you for that. Appreciate it. And then you do some stupid shit? Okay. The Adam's apple there. You have an attachment though. You're like taking it a step further. We're on health mode and you're trying to kill people. No. I'm not interested in that at all. This is like in defense here, you know, like stop doing this. You see, you're an excited child and I'm like, I can't. You know what I mean? Start grunting at everybody. Start grunting at everybody. Get out of here, Cody. I agree though. As is written here, to William Carmichael. You ass.
Flag returned.
On camera though, it's the pod only, so I don't know what you're talking about. As was mentioned, the prejudices. I think they stopped it in the 1930s there. The prejudices that we go forward with in Barbados, as was mentioned by George. Now that I recollect and put my thoughts together and try to translate what he's saying here with the Rosetta Stone in my face. You know, kind of similar too. Because Michael is his name. You know what I mean? I definitely hear you. British restrictions here.
Perfect. Double kill. Flag
From the letter
returned.
book copy in the Washington papers. Procuring 2 jacks. That's the thing, the word jacks. Right there. I haven't read it yet, have I? Have we gotten there? December 3rd? Jax? I'm highlighting here. You guys like the checkpoint. His Catholic Majesty. Machiavelli here. I'm on the ground. That's a good observation. Thank you for that. Ooh. Bro. I don't know what to say to you. I really don't. I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm putting all this together. It's kind of cool. I mean, it is cool. It's amazing. I'm ready to move I'm ready to move on and like, hey guys, how you doing?
Flag captured.
Are you done being an ass?
Victory.
You know what I mean? That's kind of, I'm ready to move on. The shed not to use here, you know what I mean? I look out and there's a shed. The first thing I see, it hits you right in the face. I don't know what else to tell you.
Everyone called bullshit on that one. Yeah,
Other than
right,
that, I mean, a hostage situation, I would assume. There's no argument. I don't know what your argument is. In English, and in English, with the Quran in front of me and the Rosetta Stone, I don't know what to tell you. Arabic, elegant. That's unfortunate. Selfish views of other nations. Certain keywords though that like are giveaways. I don't know what you want me to say as you sit there and argue. Never happened on camera.
Slay.
Basically firing radiation at me through my window here. Using pressure from the sewer. However the fuck that happened. I cannot imagine.
I was thinking a little too hard is what they were doing. Right under everybody's nose, too. With their money. That's the funny thing. Insult to injury. I go pro. I don't know if you know that. It's all somber. It's not that big
It's
of
true.
a deal.
No, not at all. Like I said, it looks like prepared.
Except a tie.
Using the art.
Fuck.
She would have had to taken a picture in there.
It's that big of a deal, though.
Gain the lead.
Excuse me, I zoned out. You can tell it's a pulse. You can see the wind, first of all. I don't know what to say to you. I'm very observant. You know, I'm very smart. I can see things. I'm willing to take fault. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a pulse that you're using right in here because I can feel it. voice box down in the Adam's apple. Oh, there's that pulse that you shouldn't be using. The nostrils right there, the membranes. You're in the mucus and stuff. In the lungs. There they go. Nah, the nipple. It's not cool. I can feel it in my lungs right now. There's definitely a device there. A metal piece, a vacuum. It's like an oven, but it's a vacuum. The wood, maybe? I believe. Oxygen comes from the trees, so the wood here. Get off the wood. You have would be the desk in the Oval Office. Replace that. It is definitely the wood. Yeah? She keeps looking around for help and nobody's coming. That's in the head, that's what's going on. She keeps looking back for someone to come and nobody's coming. And she's realizing, oh, I'm in trouble. I didn't believe. Or I was going to do something about it. That, with the lungs there, I believe. That's some crazy science you have going on there. Writings of Washington to William Goddard. Mount Vernon, June 11, 1785. Sir, on the 8th instant I received the favor of your letter of the 30th of May. In answer to it, I can only say that your own good judgment must direct you in the publication of the manuscript papers of General Lee. I can have no request to make concerning the work, Rosetta Stone. I never had a difference with that gentleman, but on public grounds, and my conduct towards him upon this occasion was such only as I conceived myself was indispensably bound to adopt in discharge of the public trust reposed in me, his son. Okay. If this produced in him unfavorable sentiments of me, no, I yet never considered the conduct I pursued with respect to him either wrong or improper. No, I see what you've done. However, I may regret that it may have been differently viewed by him, and that it excited his censure and animadversions. Should there appear in General Lee's writings anything injurious or unfriendly to me, the impartial and dispassionate world must decide how far I deserved it from the general tenor of my conduct. I am gliding down the stream of life, and wish, as is natural, Lewis and Clark. I am gliding down the stream of life, and wish, as is natural, that my remaining days may be undisturbed and tranquil, and conscious of my integrity. I would willingly hope that nothing would occur tending to give me anxiety, but should anything present itself in this or any other publication, I should never undertake the painful task of recrimination, nor do I know that I should ever enter upon my justification. I consider the communication you have made as a mark of great attention, and the whole of your letter as a proof of your esteem. I am, etc. This letter is in the Washington papers, as is also the printed prospectus of the proposed publication. Lee bequeathed his papers to Goddard, and these were to have formed the basis of the work, which Goddard never published. From the letter book, copy in the Washington papers. The banners there, dude. I'm trying to figure this out. I won't say too much. I think I figured that one out.
Nearing victory.
comparing yourselves to that. That's pretty funny.
Remaining.
Generally, that makes a little bit more sense. Floating down the river, dude. You're probably doing some fishing. Sounds pretty relaxing. An inquiry. Sitting on the boat with the art. I can imagine. To Edmund Richard, Mount Vernon, June 15th, 1785. Sir, your letter of the 1st of February from Plymouth Dock came safe. In explicit terms, I assure you that the information which I suppose you must have received respecting I will, and the plantations of a Mr. Richard Richards, is without the smallest foundation. Plantations of a Mr. Smith, I never heard of the man, his will, or the estate which you say was left in my hands until your letter reached me. Sounds like desperation. Equally unacquainted am I with Lawyer Haynes or Lawyer Britton, consequently can give no satisfaction in any of the matters requested of me. If any such event as you speak of ever did happen with any of my name, it is unknown to me. It is not in my power, therefore, to give you any clue by which you may pursue your inquiries, or would it do with pleasure, I am, etc.
Dumbass. Shut up.
Trying to follow a theme.
Nobody's impressed. Shut up.
No. That's awkward.
No. Period.
To Samuel Powell, Mount Vernon, June 15, 1785. Dear Sir, I have been honored with your favor the 25th of April, but have not yet had the pleasure of seeing Dr. Moyes on the 22nd instant. I shall look for him. I pray you to be assured that it is unnecessary for you to apologize to me for the introduction of any gentleman of whom you entertain a favorable opinion. Such as you conceive worthy of my civilities will always meet a welcome reception of Mount Vernon. I shall now, my good sir, give you a little trouble. A gentleman whose person, whose name, and whose character are, from the letterbook copy in the Washington papers, Charles Vancouver, equally unknown to me, has written me the enclosed letter, to which as yet I have made no reply. The work of will executed would unquestionably be valuable and ought to be encouraged. But the abilities of the author I am a stranger to, and it has been too often found that similar attempts by persons whose reputation is not established in the literary world are founded in ignorance or in imposition. To encourage the first or to give sanction to the latter would be alike disagreeable to me. I would beg, therefore, if it is not likely to be attended with much trouble, that you would be obliging as to give your own and the sentiments of others on the author and his performance, that I may be enabled to decide properly with respect to his request. My respectful compliments and best wishes, in which Mrs. Washington rejoins our presents to Mrs. Powell and yourself, as I am Dr. Sir. Excuse me.
Assault. Neutral bombs. Get the objective.
No, you should not have done that. No, thank you though. No, thank you though. Nah, I'm good on that. I believe the point was it wasn't yours to begin with, and I was excused. Furthermore, you knew about it. Furthermore, Smokey the Bear. So many things, and he's already went through it, and we're getting real tired of going through it. It's the president himself, the very first president, the very foundation of your country. Stop. So, furthermore, I would be the king of your country, and furthermore, and furthermore, and furthermore. On paper here.
Bomb dropped. Bomb army.
What was it? The raid of the royal household. Marie, I believe it would be Marie Antoinette. Silly girl.
Objective.
To Robert Howe.
Bomb taken.
How now? What is that picture we saw? They posted a picture. It looked just like George Washington. He was an Indian. He was all tan and stuff. He had a feather. What was he, down the river? He just mentioned Lois and Clark. That could be the one. He's hiding. You're not retired, sir. I found you. The robot found you. Whoever that was. I wish I would have remembered that. These tribes. Damn it.
Carrier kill.
Okay, so no.
Again, the eyeball there.
Carrier
Wounded knee.
bomb taken.
How now? Wounded knee. How? How? The chief. The chief's in the building right now. To Robert Howe. Mount Vernon, June 15th, 1785. Dear Sir, a few days ago, Mr. Sitgreaves gave me the pleasure of receiving your letter of the 4th John of May. It is the only one I recollect to have had from you since my return to private life. It gives me pleasure to hear that Congress have dealt honorably by you and me. There he is, and mean to do more. It is devoutly to be wished that they could do the same by all the officers whose meritorious services and sufferings have a just claim upon their gratitude, and call loudly for their exertions. From this letter book, copy in the Washington papers, John Sitgreaves. He was a delegate to the Continental Congress from North Carolina. Graveson, Pocahontas. Wounded knee. What the fuck is that? First of all, I can feel it. That rainbow you have going on the, nah. As you are at the source of intelligence, anything I say respecting foreign matters would only be a reverberation of intelligence, and few things occur of nature worthy of recital. Mrs. Washington is in tolerable good health and joins me in compliments and best wishes for you, Mr. Lott's family, and others of our old acquaintance. I am, etc. Yeah, I see. Ah. That's how I feel about it. To William Minor down in the caves. What is it called? You have Mammoth, and what was the other one? Again, they're bald knobbers, you know what I mean? Nah. To William Minor. Mount Vernon, June 16th, 1785. Sir, your letter of the fortune is this moment delivered to me. Moral obligations or the obligation to defend your schooling in Lawrence Posey, and to effect it, I was willing to incur the expense of a year's board also. The same motives might have induced you, without making a charge of it against me, to have acted a similar part in other respects by the boy, for my connection with him was no stronger nor legal honorary obligation greater on me than on any other means to excite them. Schooling, I reiterate in this letter, as I urged in my former, was my object. Consequently, if he did not go to the free school in Queen Anne, the place of design, as you yourself acknowledged to me, nor to any other school, for what purpose, let me ask, was I to pay 17? Was not his father's house, if time was to be misspent, the best place for him to waste it in? Can it be supposed I ever had it in contemplation to board him out for the purpose of idleness? If then the condition of my letter to Mr. Baker were never complied, Mr. Smith were never complied with, as you candidly confessed to me, they were not when here, where is the justice of requiring 17 or an iota of it from me, when the compensation was expressly simulated? But I will be done. I am too much engaged in company and in business to go further into the detail of this matter. Okay, now I understand. So the currency in Pennsylvania was the marijuana. So they changed the currency to silver. And so that's where the 30s comes from. So in the 30s is when they changed it to silver. And so in the 60s is when they changed it again. They got rid of the silver standard. Okay, the gold standard. In General Roberdoche Rochambeau, whom you mentioned to me yourself in a former letter, will be so obliging. So now they're going into like Bitcoin. Will be so obliging as to undertake to determine the point. I'm old-fashioned. I shall be perfectly satisfied with his decision. I shall expect, however, that both this letter and my former to you, which was directed to his care, and such papers as you exhibited to me, will be laid before him when it is certified that Lawrence Posey was not at the free school. Another, in effect, that you charge was antecedent to the date of my letter to Mr. Smith, and a third from Captain Posey to you, which will serve to prove that he was a housekeeper at Rover's Delight, as he called his place. Okay. At the time you want me to pay you for the boy's board, when he was not at school, nor ever derived the benefit which was the object of my benevolence, I am, etc. Potato soup gun, excuse me.
Bomb taken. Carrier kill. Bomb army. Carrier kill. Bomb army. Bomb arm. Enemy team nearing victory. Objective in. Objective.
We're good on that. Thank you, though. I'm good on that. Thank you, though. Play the game regardless. My heart. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Real. Listen to it. You got it, bro. Let me
Excuse
get a
me for a
soda. Hold
second.
on.
What are you reading? They don't even know. You should ask him. You just randomly. Someone should just randomly ask him, hey. Watch. So, you're excused. Goodbye. Oh, yeah, most definitely. So, we got our potato soup here. Looks really good. Excuse me, George. In retirement here on the boat. To the Secretary at War, Mount Vernon, June 18, 1785. My dear sir, I am quite ashamed to be so long deficient in acknowledging the receipt of your favors of the 24th and 29th of March and 5th
I didn't see that
of
coming
May,
at all. You know
but
what I
an
mean?
intervention of circumstances with the enumeration of which I shall not trouble you
That's
have
sad.
prevented it. It gave me a
English
great
here.
pleasure to hear of your appointment as Secretary at War. Without a compliment, I think a better choice could not have been made, and though the salary is low, it may, under the circumstances you mentioned, be considered as auxiliary. Enclosed, the citizens, enclosed is a certificate of service for Major Sergeant of those where I have a high opinion, but for want of a more competent knowledge of the time of
Maybe I don't
his
wanna deal with
entry in
it.
the line of the army and the commissions he has borne, I could not be more particular. At any time this summer, the limestone could be useful to me, but the sooner it comes, the greater benefit I shall derive from it. As the walls for which I want it are now in hand, the sentiment which you have dropped respecting the appropriation of the shares which were intended for me by the Assembly of the State in the navigations of the rivers Potomac and James is very pleasing, and would give me great pleasure to see it realized. And this is on the record, too. Okay, I knew I was going to have problems here. But anyway. Actually, I have to do this backwards. I think he rather enjoys talking to the people in the future.
Here they go.
It would be the it would be the citizens. They govern themselves. That's what he's pointing out. The right to bear arms. Hold on.
Flag returned.
Oh, excuse me, bear. I think it's funny. Scrappy here.
Enemy flag returned.
Oh, is it? Who do we choose for the, You're excused, thank you. We'll be taken into proper account. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
That's
I
cool.
don't.
We're not really trying to get up on stage, though. That was being forced upon us. As I form the foundation of your country here with the right to bear arms. Thank you, though. This is the original. Some grand boss speech. Explosions in the sky. You're excused, thank you. I didn't really want to do all that. I just wanted to do business, and like they pretty much put up a roadblock there for no
Damn,
reason
it's
at
a little
all.
lively on this guy.
And also, it kind of seems like it was done
air hockey.
with intent. You know what I mean?
It's like air hockey on
George,
this dude.
making a
Get
mess
this
of things over
douchebag
here.
outta
Hold on.
here. Really?
Enemy captured your flag.
Air hockey. Douchebag.
Yo, cast iron over here. Too bad. Cast iron's good though. You can tell the difference. Like old school cast iron. You know what I mean?
Flag returned.
At any time this summer, the limestone would be useful to me. The sooner it comes to greater benefits, I shall derive from it, as the walls for which I want it are now in hand. The sentiments which you have dropped respecting the appropriation of the shares which were intended for me by the Assembly of the State in the navigations of the rivers Potomac and James is very pleasing and would give me great pleasure to see it realized. The lime, I've never really thought about it.
Ruined the vibe. To
I'm
be
not a big
honest.
a lime connoisseur, you know what I mean? Limestone.
Cheap. I'm good on that.
Please.
No thanks.
Your argument. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, I'm good on that.
As you point out, the right to bear arms and militias, the Secretary of War would be the citizens there. Thank you. For want of a competent view of the design of Congress respecting the Western Territory and not knowing how matters stand with Great Britain respecting the posts of Detroit and other places to present occupied by British garrison on the American side of the line, I feel an unfitness to answer your question respecting such posts as may be proper for the purposes you mentioned. Hey, yo! I mean, it's better than getting in your face, you know what I mean? What do you mean? What kind of tomfoolery is going on here? What do you... No. But under the ideas I hold at present, I am inclined to think that if garrisons are to be established within the limits and jurisdiction of any of the 13 states, that Fort Pitt of Fort McIntosh, whichever shall be found most convenient and in best repair, would do very well for a post of deposits, no, from whence all the outers should be supplied. And as it is my opinion that great part of the fur and peltry of the lakes, when we shall have free access to them, will be transported by the Cuyahoga and Big River Creek, a post at the mouth of Winthrop Sergeant.
Knox had written, March 24th, perhaps, my dear sir, you could intimate to the legislator in a manner which would be clear of every indelicate imputation that should they think proper to apply the produce of this fund to the maintenance of widows and the support and education of the children of those men of their own line who sacrificed their lives in defense of their country, and of the maimed soldiers. The measure would rear an eternal monument to the virtue of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Knox's letter is in the Washington paper. On the Ohio River, 25 miles below Pittsburgh,
I'm ready to get
Pennsylvania.
this over with.
Oh, I've already said it, didn't I? Virginia. They're collapsing inward. What they're doing.
Grabs
Exploding.
foot. Grabs foot.
They're
You know what I
they're
mean?
being
I'm
pumped
pretty much
is what
done
it
with
is.
you, jackheads.
Flag returned.
Once again.
You hear them out there? They're pumping.
Flag.
Is that right? Does it change anything? He's revving up his engine right now. They will leave it. They will literally leave it idle there for hours.
Enemy flag returned.
Is there a reason? Again on camera. Again on camera. You are going to jail for it. So whatever you have said in private, it is on camera. I assure you, you have done something you should not have done.
Remaining.
This is your one and only warning. It is on camera,
that's what it is.
and I mean
Yep,
everything.
you got it.
They're starting to realize, oh,
I'm a
we made a
bitch.
mistake. There they are. Hi, how are you? I can tell by the
You
radio.
got it, bro.
You did more than make a mistake, buddy. To the Secretary of War, the federal government.
We don't like cheats, you know what I mean?
They're the ones everybody else is getting their ammunition from. What are you doing? Little boy out there. I think they're probably just sitting back watching everybody. Like, is that really going on right now? Are they that stupid? It's like, from someone's perspective who's going to defend you, you need to be able to back what you're doing. And you cannot. And you're making a complete ass out of yourself. And it's really not, it doesn't look good.
Flag captured.
I don't know what else to tell you. As we move forward, why is it so hard? Again, I think some things have been said or done that they are going to regret. At some convenient post on the former must be eligible. The spot marked Miami Village, Mimi, Village and Fort in Hutchins' map, I have always considered as of importance, being a central point between Lake Michigan, and the River Ohio, communicating with each by water. To these, the falls of the Ohio, or some more convenient spot for the lower settlements may be added. Oh, they don't believe. Whether this chain embraces territory enough, whether it goes far enough to the southward to afford protection to the back parts of Virginia, the Carolinas, and Georgia, is very well written on the earth itself. Who that would be. So, before you speak, know what you're talking about. They don't believe. In the future here, on this date, you're in trouble. Bright and sunny day, enjoy it. I am to determine my opinion of the matter is that I have described a sufficient extent of the country to answer all our present purposes, beyond which neither settlements nor locations of land ought to be admitted, because their larger would open a more extensive field for land jobbers and speculators. Weaken our frontiers, exclude law, good government, taxation to a late period, and endure the Union for essentially in many respects. It took them a while to travel because they didn't have cars. I'm reading it too fast. Boats? Yeah, he's sitting there idle right now.
Whoa. Well, it's karma right there.
This dude is a dumbass.
Flag returned. Flag captured. Victory.
Yeah, it's more like a wife. Like me and her, like she's waiting on me, like, okay. You know what I mean? But it's hard to explain. But I'm not gonna play that game, you know what I mean? You feel me? You feel, bro? Bro! I mean, this is the easy way to do it, you know what I mean? I feel like try to get away from that. Get stuck on that rhythm there. That rotation. Need to get away from it. Do the robot. Speaking of the nations here. Stop doing this now. Yeah, especially with the Rosetta Stone pulled up in front of my face. It kind of seems like you did it to yourselves. I don't know what to tell you. The children of Israel. Israel? I is real? Try to break this down for you, alien. I would assume that it applies to you, everybody. I'm just sitting here. You came to me, remember this. I was minding my own business. I laid my hands on nobody. You mess with me. Don't ever forget that. My territory. This little birdie. Oh, that little birdie. Yeah, I hear you, but I don't hear you, you know?
Strongholds.
Einstein. I hear you, but I don't hear you. Huh. Is that a threat? Oh. He's puffing up his chest. Look at this. He's flexing on me. This is hilarious. I mean you more. That's hilarious. He tried puffing up his chest on me.
Enemy team.
There's little Robin next to me. Look, he's still going. Bro. Bro? Oh, I got it. Bro.
Scoring.
That's
Enemy
funny.
team scoring.
It's 'tis the season. They're pretty spot on with their information, you know what I mean?
Your team scoring.
You feel me, bro? Quit mean mugging me.
Enemy team
Robber.
scoring. Your team scoring.
At the conflicts of the Great Kanhawa in Ohio, a post might be established as to answer beneficial purposes. Indeed, it is the opinion of many that it is a more eligible place than Pittsburgh. In time, if the navigation of the Kanhawa should be extended and an easy communication open with James River, it may be so, but in the present state of things, considering the settlements about the latter and the sources from whence proceed all the supplies of that country, it certainly is not. As the protection of the river and the movements thereon, it is desirable. If I am right in my principles, some such distribution as the following may not be ineligible for the 700 men which are ordered to be raised. As Fort Pitt, Fort McIntosh, or the mouth of the Big Beaver, being in the vicinity of thick settlements, only 100 men, Cuyahoga, from whence a detachment might occupy the carrying place between that water and Big Beaver, being on the line and most exposed, should have 200. Miami Fort or Village and dependencies do 200 at the Falls at the Ohio, or some spot more convenient and healthy on that river, 150. At the conflict of the Great Kanhawa in Ohio for security of the river, protection of trade, and covering immigrants, 50 total 700. Mrs. Macaulay Graham and Mr. Graham and others have just left us after a stay of about 10 days. A visit from a lady so celebrated in the literary world could not but be very flattering to me. Mrs. Washington joins me in best wishes for yourself, Mrs. Knox, and family with great truth and sincerity. I am, etc., etc. Mrs. H.S. Marie, she's in high school, Miss High School Woman.
Scoring.
At least she's being honest.
You guys in your Shakespearean speech. Very good. Proper terminology, excuse me.
Very astute.
Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm having dinner. You're interrupting.
Enemy team scored. Your team scored. Enemy team scored.
If I am right in the principles, blah blah blah, Washington joins me the best wishes from his Knox and family with great truth and sincerity, I mean, etc. Barbabe, my boy. Smoking cigarettes. Barbabe smoking cigarettes. Hold on. There you go, buddy. Barbabe, my boy. The Robin's next to me, as was mentioned. Okay, cast spell. You can get them off. Now you know. Tobacco. Time is, what time is it? Because you have it on your timer. I. Okay. Sir, the last post brought me the honor of your favor. Of the 12th instance, I am made happy because occasions which induce you to write to me and shall take pleasure in rendering me decorny any service in my power. I will immediately inform myself of the name and residence of the treasurer of the Society of the Cincinnati in this state and transmit Mr. De Corny bill on Colonel Wadsworth to him. Dude, I'm obliged to you, sir. Whatever you did there is not okay. I'm obliged to you, sir, for the several communications in your letter. I wish something disagreeable may not result from the contention respecting the navigation of the river Mississippi. The immigration to the waters thereof is astonishingly great. Hold on, what was that? Louis Dominique Ethis de Corny. Jeremiah Wadsworth. Great, and chiefly from a description of people who are not very subordinate in the laws and constitution of the states they go from. Whether the prohibition of the Spaniards, therefore, is not or unjust, politic or impolitic, it will be with difficulty that a people of this class can be restrained from the enjoyment of natural advantages. It is devoutly to be wished that Mr. Gadaquai would enter into such
stipulations with Congress as may avert the impending evil and be mutually advantageous to both nations. After the explicit declarations of the Emperor respecting the navigation of the Scheldt and his other dominions from Holland, it should seem, I think, as if he stood in a predicament not very desirable, for if he recedes, his foresight and judgment may be arraigned, and if he proceeds, his ruin may be involved. But possibly I am hazarding sentiments from a superficial view of things when it will appear ultimately that he has had important objects in view and accomplished them. I take the liberty of addressing the enclosed letter to your care and to assure you of the respect and esteem with which I have the honor, etc. Piazza Flagstone. Some crazy science, isn't it? You're talking about CERN, Holland. You talking about CERN? What are you talking about?
Enemy team score.
Established. Where was it? France, Switzerland border.
Your team
Formation 29th of September. Again, the Ark. More than one, I would assume. Or it's like a giant Junior Illuminati group. Here, let me go around you. Hey guys, what is this bullshit? Nah. Not cool. I don't know what you're doing there. To John Rumney. Are you saying like moonshine? I mean, that makes sense. Antimatter puzzle. Yeah, no.
enemy team score.
They trap the explosion, they freeze the explosion, and throw it around.
Your team score.
Well, anyway. To John Rumney, Mount Vernon, June 22nd, 1485. Oh no. Oh no. Dear sir, I stand indebted to you for two letters, one of the 8th and of September, the other of 9th of February. The first should not have remained so long unacknowledged, but for the expectation I had of the second led me to expect the third, upon the receipt of which I meant to give you but one trouble by replying to them all at the same time. From the letter book copy in the Washington papers, the original of this letter is said to be 1940 in the Historical Museum, USSR of Whitehaven, England. You know what I mean? The destruction of Earth. It's like one device over the other device. You know what I mean? That's my thoughts on that. The problem is they're taking that and throwing it around. You can't see it. Nothing you can do about it. Permit me to thank you, sir, for your attention to my commissions. The explosions. So, I mean, they're basically, like I said, taking a minor explosion, a mini nuke, right? Taking that minor explosion and then freezing it. Because the combustion is separating the atmosphere. Essentially. In a way, like as far as like the horizon. You know, hence different planets, other things. So on and so forth. Permit me to thank you, sir, for your attention to my commissions. The joiner arrived safe, and I believe will fully answer your description and expectation of him. He gives great satisfaction and seems well satisfied himself. The expense of his passage and your advance to him has been paid to Mr. Sanderson. I delayed making choice of either of the
samples of flagstone until I had seen the Irish marble and was made acquainted with the cost of it. But as it is not yet arrived, and I like the widest and cheapest of the 3 samples which you sent me, Captain Atkinson, I request the favor of you toward by the first opportunity, with some to spare in case of breakage or other accidents. As much of this kind as well for the gallery and for my house, which within the margin or border that goes round it, and is already laid with a hard stone of the country is 92 feet 7.5 inches by 12 feet 9 1/4 inches. I'm honored. That's amazing. Where's this at?
Kill.
Flagstone? Having given the exact, that's what it is. There's marble. Having in the exact dimensions of the floor or space which is to be laid with flagstone, salute to the workmen to procure them of such a size, not less than 1 foot square, and of all of one size, as will answer best and accord most with the taste of the times. I take it for the granted that 7.5 day of 8D is the price of the white stone in the prepared state in which it was sent, and that shipping charges and freight only are to be added to the cost. If a rough estimate of the latter had been mentioned, it would have been more pleasing, as I could have been prepared accordingly. I am at a loss to determine in what manner these dress flags can be brought without incurring much expense or being liable to great damage. To put them in cases will involve the first, and to stow them loose, the other may be sustained, unless great care is used in the stowage, which is rarely to be found among sailors or even masters of vessels. Robert Sanderson, Rumney's partner. If the flags are well dressed, a little matter will chip the edges and break the corners.
We'll take a 5-minute break. I think he's talking about the ivory.
Hey, no fucking way, dude. You sit there and argue with me. He said the exact same thing. Oh, you sit there. I'm not arguing about it either. Nobody likes to cheat, you know? Crucial moments. Coming in here winging it. I can't decide if I want to go to Call of Duty or not. I mean, there's so many books and so many manuscripts, and so much time to do. Eventually, I'll stop doing the Bible. Kind of savor that for a moment. We'll keep going, I guess. Which would disfigure the work and be hurtful to the eye. I will give no direction, therefore, on this head. Your own judgment on the spot shall dictate. At the same time, I have but little doubt if they are placed in the hold of the ship with hay or straw to keep them from rubbing, of their coming free from damage. I will soon follow this letter with a remittance from hence or draft upon London for a sum to enable you to discharge the undertaker. In the meanwhile, let me pray you to hasten the execution and shipping of them, as my gallery is very much in want, with great esteem, etc. It's fine. It's cool. I hear you. I see you. Okay. Okay. To William Grayson, Mount Vernon, June 22nd, 1785. Dear Sir, since my last to you, I have been favored with your letters of the 5th, 27th, and of May, and beg your acceptance of my thanks for their enclosures and for the communications you were pleased to make me therein. I am very glad to find you have passed on an ordinance of Congress respecting the sale of the Western lands, and I am too well acquainted with the local politics of individual states, not to have seen the difficulties you met with in this business. These things are to be regretted, but not to be altered until liberality of the sentiment is more universal. Fixing the seat of the empire at any spot on the Delaware is, in my humble opinion, demonstrably wrong. To incur an expense for what may be called the permanent seat of Congress at this time is, I conceive, evidently impolitic. For without the gift of prophecy, I will venture to predict that under any circumstance of confederation, it will not remain so far to the eastward long, and that until the public is in better circumstances, it not to be built at all. The man-made lake, I appreciate you, I said it too. Time too powerful for sophistry will point out the place and disarm localities of their power. In the meanwhile, the widow, the orphan, and the suffering soldier who are crying to you for their dues receive that which can very well be rendered to them. There is nothing new in this quarter of an interesting nature to communicate unless you should not have been informed that the Potomac navigation proceeds under favorable auspices at the general meeting of the subscribers in May last. It appeared that upwards of 400 of the 500 shares had been engaged. Many more have been subscribed since a board of directors had been chosen, proper characters and laborers advertised for, to commence the work in the least difficult parts of the river, till a skillful engineer can be engaged to undertake those which are more so, and it is expected the work will be begun by the 10th of next month, with great esteem, and etc. Well, I heard the hit. I don't know why his shield came back. Future politics. The seat of the empire would be the shine of the water. The reflection. Anyway, to the President of Congress, Mount Vernon, June 22nd, 1785. Dear Sir, I stand indebted to you for your favors of the 3rd, 7th, and 29th of last month, and feel myself exceedingly obliged to your Excellency for the communications and enclosures therein. It gives me pleasure to find that an ordinance of Congress has passed respecting the Western Territory. A little longer the delay of this business, and I believe that the country would have been settled, maugre all that could have been done to prevent it. As it is, I am not clear that the same respect will be paid now, from the letterbook copy in the Washington papers, to this ordinance, which would have been at an earlier period, before men began to speculate in that land to the northwest of the Ohio, and to obtrude themselves thereon. From the general
tenor of my letters from very reputable characters in France, I think it most likely that the dispute between the Emperor and Holland, there we go, will be settled within bloodshed, and the former will hardly be able to effect the exchange of his northern dominions for the Duchy of Bavaria, among other reasons because the Duke of Dua, Ponce, nephew and heir to the elector, is opposed thereto, but notwithstanding that the state of politics and temper of some of the formidable powers of Europe are such as to place war at no remote distance. I have just parted with Mr. and Mrs. Malcolm Graham, who after a stay of about 10 days left this in order to embark for England from New York. I'm obliged to you for introducing a lady to me whose reputation among the literary is high, and whose principles are so much and so justly admired by the friends of liberty and of mankind. It gives me pleasure to find that her sentiments respecting the inadequacy of the powers of Congress is also those of Dr. Price's coincide with my own. Experience evidences the truth of those observations, and the late movements of the mercantile interest exhibits a recent proof of the conviction it is working in the popular mind. But it is unfortunate for us that evils which might have been averted must be first felt, and our national character for wisdom, justice, and temperance suffer in the eyes of the world before we can guide the political machine as it ought to be. The plan for improving and extending the navigation of this river is, in a promising way, enclosed. I do myself the honor of sending you the printed proceedings of the board of directors. Mrs. Washington joins me in compliments and every good wish for you, and with great esteem, etc. I see your argument on that, but no, I disagree. No, the weed's gone wrong. The powers of Europe. Good observations. Keep that in mind.
Trying to play games with the tower. Yeah, we're not doing that, man.
Rereading it. Hold on for a
You're
second.
delusional.
The Hall of Prison sentences. I know. Truly.
The attachment. Get it off. Now.
I feel like they would be worse than the slave. The slave has it better than the prisoner. If you look at it comparatively. I see the argument, like trying to set a standard, like moving forward. The inadequacy of the powers of Congress. That's kind of how I feel. Thank you for bringing that up. They have the temper. Probably because they just figured out the radio wave or something stupid. Putting up new buildings. Charles II, Duke of Zweibrücken. To Richard Bolton, Mount Vernon, June 24th, 1785. Mr. Bolton, your letter of the 4th instance never reached me until Monday last. I do not enter into agreements, but with an intention of fulfilling them, and I expect the same punctuality on the part of those with whom they are made. And you must therefore perform yours with me, or abide the consequences. The reason which you assign for not coming is futile, and can have no weight with your creditors. Your property and your labor are all means with which you can satisfy them. A mortgage or bill of sale the first, and an order on me by way of security of the latter, as your wages shall arise, is all they can desire, if your tools are unsaleable, and these are in your power to give them. You know the purposes of which I engaged you, and that they are important and urgent, that I waited a considerable time after Colonel Fitzhugh had recommended you to me, without applying elsewhere, for your answer that near a month more has elapsed since our agreement took place, that the season is now far advanced, and workmen consequently so much engaged as not to be procured. In the meanwhile, the roof of my house yields to every rain, and the furniture in note, in the letter book, copied in the Manuscripts code, as printed in the memoir of Richard Henry Lee. This letter contained the following: P.S. Not recorded in the letter book, Colonel
Okay,
William
you can get the arc.
Brent died 2
How did he
or
get
3
through it?
days ago.
Did
Your
you
son
not
Ledwell
escape it?
was well at our court yesterday in the Washington paper.
No.
Victory.
Wayne of the Heart.
No part of it is cured from the injuries which result therefrom. These reasons will truly justify my holding you to the engagement we have entered into, and I expect you will enter upon the performance of it without delay, and etc. You know my opinion. Engaging it? What are they expecting? Dude. That lake is wrong. Yeah, that's the type of stuff they do. They do the exact opposite of what they should do. You know what I mean? And then everybody suffers because of it. It makes absolute no sense. Truly. A huge cripple. They're hindering for no reason at all, without justification. That bell should be hindered more than the noise, really? Especially when it's entering your body, you get to think of like defense mechanisms there. The people who are getting down to it. That's where I'm at, the defense mechanisms. Truly, like, don't do that. And then you tell me this, it's like, that doesn't really make sense to me. That doesn't work well with us as a whole. You mentioned France, I think you're talking about the speech. So you have more knowledge than I have. You're up there in the, at the top. I'm not there, so I mean, I can sit there and just try to figure out what's going on, and it can guide me into the right path. But even then, I do not know for sure. The Liberty Bell and such. All these monuments. You mentioned the statues and such.
Bank shot.
The
Victory.
Liberty Bell. There's definitely something going on there. To Governor Patrick Henry, Mount Vernon, June 24th, 1785. Dear Sir, the letter which your Excellency did me the honor to write to me on the 10th instance came duly to hand and calls for my particular acknowledgment and my grateful thanks for obliging offers. Although I can see that the sunken lands lying on Albemarle Sound and the waters emptying into it will in time become the most valuable property in the country, yet when I reflect further that it will be require considerable advance to reclaim and render them fit for cultivation, and in the meantime that they may be subjected to expenses, I believe it would be most advisable for me in my situation not to add my present expenditures, but I am so much obliged by your friendly offer to serve me in this matter as if they had actually been rendered. If your Excellency could make it convenient to give me the substance of the report of the commissioners respecting the place and manner which are thought best for a cut between the waters of Elizabeth River and those of North Carolina, I should think myself obliged. The improving and extending the inland navigation of the waters of the country are, in my judgment, very interesting to the well-being and glory of it, and I am always pleased with my account, which seem to facilitate those important objects with great esteem, etc. From the letter book, copy in Washington papers. I don't understand. The well-being and glory of it. I'm always well pleased with the accounts. There's just, like I said, what I want to do, the dispensary, either or. You're talking about the growing, getting into the trees, the lime trees and stuff, the green, the grass. It's a roadblock. You can't. There's no way. Like I said, it's like 10,000 just to apply. It may have changed. I haven't read in a while. I've been out of the loop. I do not know. It's not good though. It's one big wall is what it is. You can't just go in there and get a loan. Like, it takes time. You have to go through steps. A lot of them. It's not easy. And then the money involved, like, you would basically already have to, like, have the money there. Like, the banks won't really work with you, probably. Or you're like a pre-business owner switching over or something. Well, which I get, but it's like, the passion. That's where I'm at. The grapevine. I'm at the winery, you know what I mean? Eminence, as you've mentioned before. It's like, that's not, to me, very, that's not
Capture
cool.
the flag.
You have yours, I have mine, you know? There's a time and a place, I feel like. But again, there's a roadblock. Like, you can't just go in there. That's not the case. Even for the licenses. It's like a lottery, is what it is. They only allow a certain amount in each county, in each city. It's no different than, the number of residents as far as buildings. They don't exceed a certain amount. And then on top of that, it's kind of like a lottery, where it's just like randomly. Well, at this point, it isn't, but at the beginning, it was already like just established. But again, they're only allowed a certain number, so after that, it's kind of just like trickling in. You know what I mean? Everybody's just popping up all at once. Again, the way this is being done, though, like they're being very standoffish and they don't want to hear it. So I don't know what else to say. It's as simple as a loan. Go get your stuff. Go start your day. Go through the proper steps that you need to take. I'm not gonna go through all the details there. Like go through the exact law. I've read it. I don't like it. So. The way that it was set up, nah, it's not cool. Everyone just kind of seemed like, okay. That wasn't the way we wanted this. Again, I didn't vote for it. The battle over here. Also, on a federal level, they still have not reclassified it. It would technically be illegal on a federal level. Again, it's a state issue, but it's a state issue. Okay, they ruled it was a state issue. Okay. However, you've mentioned, like, you brought up Ryan. That was a big problem, and I agree. Like I said that talks need to be had. It is prim and proper. They were tracked down. They're watching every little hand motion. You know what I'm saying? Like, the poker cards are out, boys, and they watch you. Try to pull that at a poker table. I promise you, that table will get flipped. Guns will come out. You know what I mean? In fact, I had that happen to me once, but it was cool. We fixed it. He actually, like I said, he did it. But anyway, blackjack. I'm smiling right now inside. This is amazing. To Thomas Montgomery. Again, Illinois. Excuse me, banker.
Slayer.
I'm good on we're not trying to lay the foundation here, so you're pretty much done. As you sit there and try to use the road outside. Again, hostage situation, which has already been established. Thanks for letting me know where you are, you dumbass. I cannot wait. Is that it?
Portion of time to initiate
There we go.
Slay.
that dog.
Trying to end it on the street note? No thanks.
To Thomas Montgomery, Mount Vernon, June 25th, 1785.
I guess they didn't
Dear
hear
sir,
me.
in the evening of yesterday, I was favored with your letter of the 21st, and thank you for your earlier and friendly attention to the inquiry I made of you. I do not recollect whether I was so explicit as perhaps I ought to have been in communicating all the purposes for which I want to an assistant. They are these: a gentleman who can compose a good letter from the heads which shall be given to him, do all other writing which shall be entrusted to his care, keep accounts, examine, arrange, and properly methodize my papers, which from hasty removals into the interior country are in great disorder, ride at my expense to do such business as I may have in different parts of this or other state, if I should find it more convenient to send than attend myself to the execution thereof, and occasionally to devote a small portion of time to initiate 2 little children, a girl of 6 and a boy of 4 years of age, descendants of the deed, Miss Custis, who live with me and are very promising, and whom I would not wish to confine in the first rudiments of education. A fit person who inclines to accept these employments
not.
will live as I do. Be company for those who visit at the house.
Attachment.
Have his wishing and mending found him, and such wages as we can agree upon, which I must be candid and
Thank
say
you.
cannot
I have
be
a witness.
high, as my finances and expenditures will not admit of. If you think Mr. Shaw competent to these ends, and find him disposed to be employed for which I wish to know it by the return of the post, as there are others offering.
A gunshot is what it is.
If he would write to me or to you upon the subject, the letter in the latter case to be enclosed to me, I could form some judgment of his handwriting and diction. He would please to signify
Down
the
there at
lowest
the,
wages which he would take per annum
into
or
the river
quarterly
where they're,
if he
the
chooses
shooting range.
a personal interview, which perhaps may be more agreeable. I should be glad to see him here with some samples of his writing,
Oh,
with
there
great
he is.
esteem,
Yep, that's
etc.
definitely what it is.
Of Dumfries, Virginia, William Shaw. He acted as secretary from July 1785
Oh,
to
yeah,
May
get him off.
1786.
It's a
Mafia.
gunshot sound.
No. No. To Reverend Stephen Bloomer Balk. Mount Vernon, June 26, 1785. Sir, my nephews are desirous of going to the dancing school in Georgetown kept by Mr. Tarterson. I think his name is, and as it is my wish they should be introduced into life with those qualifications which are deemed necessary, I consent to it. Some time ago I expressed my approbation of their learning French, and a wish that you had got your house in order to receive them, they might again board with you. Although I have no occasion to seek the care, attention, and kindness of Mr. Bailey to them, I conceive they can board at no place so eligibly as at their preceptors, for it is my wish that their morals as well as education may be attended to, and though I do not desire they should be deprived of necessary and proper amusements, yet
Stop.
it is my earnest request that they may be kept close to their studies. I am, etc. To Thomas Montgomery, Mount Vernon, June 30th, 1785. Dear Sir, I received your favor of the 28th last night. I was under promise when I wrote to you on the 25th of giving an answer into an application which had been made to me in a few days before, which are now nearly expired, that I may be decisive on it. I should be glad to know precisely what Mr. Shaw would expect for his services if he comes to me, for though I cannot, as I observed in my last, afford to give high pay on the one hand, so neither would I by any means leave it indefinite on the other. Whatever stipulations I enter into shall be strictly complied with, which will leave no cause for discontent. I am the more explicit in these declarations because I am apprehensive that higher pay is expected from me than I can afford to give. Mr. Smith undoubtedly has set a value upon those which are to be rendered services. He knows what he has received for former services. It is not reasonable to expect that any gentleman will lessen his prospects by coming to me, nor do I desire it. I do not expect him for less than he can obtain elsewhere, but if my means will not enable me to give as much, I must do without or get one less capable of assisting me. Another thing in Mr. Smith's proposals is not very agreeable to me. If a gentleman does not engage with me for some fixed time, I may in a month, nay less, be put to a greater nonplus than ever, which would be inconvenient and perhaps injurious to me. Short engagement and early notice of discountenance might answer the purpose of Mr. Smith and remove my difficulties. That matters may be reduced to a certainty and enabled to give the answer above alluded to in time, I send this by a special messenger. I'm obliged to attend the board of directors in Alexandria tomorrow, but whether I shall be detained there longer is at present uncertain. I shall be glad, therefore, if it is convenient to see Mr. Shaw here this evening or on Saturday or tomorrow, when upon a little conversation we can readily determine whether our purposes can be reciprocally answered. He will not, indeed cannot, be considered in the light of a preceptor, because this, as I am observed in my last, is only occasionally and secondary. I am, etc. I see you. I'm reading. To the Countess of Huntingdon. Mount Vernon, June 30, 1785. My lady.
Still doing it.
In the last letter which I had the
Truly.
honor to write to you,
I
I
do not
informed
care.
your ladyship of the communication I had made to the President of Congress of your wishes to obtain lands in the Western Territory for a number of immigrants as a means of civilizing savages and propagating the gospel among them. In answer, he informed me that Mr. Smith, governor of this state, had laid your ladyship's letter and plan which were addressed to him before Congress in a full and ample manner. But his private opinion of the matter was that under the pressure of debt to which his fund was to be appropriated and the diversity of sentiment respecting the mode of applying it, that no discrimination would or indeed could be made in favor of immigrants of any description
Attachment. I
whatsoever. I
am
waited,
not
however,
arguing.
a considerable time
I
to
have
know
a
the result
witness.
of Mr.
Get
Smith's
it off.
reference before I would give your ladyship the trouble
It's a
of
stupid
another
little
letter
girl, dude. Get her off.
on this subject, but hearing nothing more of the matter, and having had the enclosed resolutions and ordinance sent to me by the President himself as a result of their long and painful deliberation on the mode of disposing of the Western lands, I will delay no longer to express my concern that your ladyship's humane and benevolent views are not better
see her out,
seconded.
dude. Really, it's a tear
The
duct.
resolutions and ordinance herewith enclosed, on which I shall make no comments, will give
There
the
you go.
terms and shew your ladyship the mode by which the lands belonging to the Union are to obtain. In other words, how difficult it must be for foreigners to know when or to apply for them, with the highest respect and consideration, etc.
5 minutes remaining.
He thinks I can't prove it. That's why he's doing it. So you get him off the eyeball now. The little mission
you
they have
do.
going on there. Nah, we're not. I'm not arguing at all. I am not arguing. It is period.
Target spot!
Sitting there behind closed doors, you motherfucker. Nah, not happening. What do you got going on behind the scene there, buddy? You've attached it to a woman. That's what he's relying on. Anyway, that was Marie, I believe, at the end. Right now, like I said, they have an attachment. Now, I'm not going to argue. I have a witness. I have the paperwork. I am not arguing, period. Okay, so the closed door. not. I assure you. I am more important than you are. So I'm going to get behind that closed door, I assure you. No matter where it is. Get the fuck off this goddamn electricity is what it is. It is either the electricity, the window, or the desk here. We have a screen with seance as well. So I'm going to go through all the lists of options that we have here that it could be. I'm not arguing, period.
Victory!
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think they try to come in here and they're using some device, wherever it may be, and buzzing the eyeball. Somebody's did 1 of 12. I can only assume, and I'm not arguing about it. Like I said, with witnesses. Again. Douchebag. Accept defeat here. Or it will get ugly. Do a clap online. I'm going to have to figure this out exactly how you're doing it. I am not going to stop until I get to the bottom of exactly where it is. I do not care who it is. They try to put their foot down like a woman would. No. 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 Anyway, Princess Leia over here, all down in the bunker, sitting there trying to fight every goddamn person on Earth. You see the dude, I cannot. Okay. If that's what you want, that's what you're gonna get. I'm not gonna stop. If that's what you want, that is what you're gonna get. I am not going to stop. I'll end this on with David here. I didn't do that last time, so that's a good one. Chapter 16 of Isaiah. What say you, David? Because I'm real tired of that speed and that little ghost behind the screen. And I am not arguing at all. At all. You keep putting this off here and this and that and this and that and this and that and the order of operations and this and that and this and that and this and that. They have the right to remain silent on camera. You are a fraud. Stay silent. I am not arguing. Get real ugly. Make me more and more mad here. Fraud. So we're going to do Isaiah chapter 16. Quit harassing me or I will do something about it. You can approach me the proper way here, motherfucker, like I have. Get the goddamn attachment off me. Some brightness bullshit. Anyway, chapter 16. Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land from Selah to the wilderness unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. For it shall be that as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon. Take counsel, execute judgment, make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide thy outcasts, bewray not him that wandereth. Let mine outcasts dwell with thee, Moab, be thou a covert to them from the face of the spoiler. For the extortioner is at an end, the spoiler ceaseth,
The oppressors are consumed out of the land, and in mercy shall the throne be established. And he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David, judging and seeking judgment and hasting righteousness. We have heard of pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness, and his pride, and his wrath. But he lies. But his lies shall not be so. Therefore shall Moab howl for Moab. Every one shall howl for the foundations of Kiritheth. Shall ye mourn? Surely they are stricken. For the fields of Heshbon languish, and the vine of Sibmah. The lords of the heathen have broken down the principal plants thereof. They are come down to Jazer. They wandered through the wilderness. Her branches are stretched out. They are gone over the sea. Therefore I will bewail the weeping of Jazer, the vine of Sibmah. I will water thee with my tears, O Heshbon and Elah, for shouting of thy summer fruits, and for thy harvest is fallen. And gladness is taken away, and joy of the plentiful field, and the vineyards. There shall be no singing, neither shall there be no shouting. Neither shall there be shouting. The treaders shall tread out no wine in their presses. I have made their vintage shouting to cease. Wherefore my bowels shall sound like a harp for Moab, and mine inward parts for Kirheresh. And it shall come to pass, when it is seen that Moab is weary on the high place, that he shall come to his sanctuary to pray, but he shall not prevail. This is the word that the Lord hath spoken concerning Moab since that time. But now the Lord hath spoken, saying, within 3 years, as the years of a hireling, and the glory of Moab shall be condemned, with all the great multitude, and the remnant shall be very small and feeble. I don't know what to tell you. You keep messing with the speed there, and it's not working out for you. At all, my dude. Got it? I'm very clear here. I am very clear. This, step the fuck away. Got it? They think it's a joke. Just you wait, my buddy. Oh, there he goes. And it's being recorded, the detachment. On the brain, dumbass. This is you. You got it, Jonestown. Man, I've been trying to reach out this entire fucking time. So now that we've established their fraud and perjury and this and that and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Fully established here. We'll continue this later. There's so many more hours to do. Like I said, book 5 here. He's sitting around writing, so this should be fun, interesting. I'll try to switch it up. I'm having fun with Halo, other than, the cheating there. I'll call you out, and no, it's not cool. No, it's not cool. With the attachments and this and that. Oh, David. I will bewail the weeping of Jazer, the vine of Sibmah. I will water thee with my tears. Oh, boo-hoo. Stop. I'm not interested at all. We're just not in the mood, Oh, George. Oh, Marie. You coming out of the shadows. It's always a pleasure. I'll go ahead and end this, but we'll be back. When, I don't know, but we'll be back. George.